Live? Hello everyone, we are back live. Today it's Frankie and a very special guest has joined us for casting this game, this series, Lanka Lions versus Bronze for Smurfs. It's going to be the one and only coach we have, Flux. How are you,
Used
Flux?
to have ex-coach. Okay, I'm retired. Please. Yeah, I don't
Good.
know about special, but yeah, I think it'll be fun. I was really bored, so
Mhm.
this is something to do.
So this is Lanka Lions versus Bronze for Smurfs, second series, and the other series is between Portal Esports and Hyman Grammars. So we're gonna dive into the champion selection in just a moment.
So I don't know like these teams really well, right? I maybe I know like Lanka Lions, but I don't know like what they play or how well they've been doing so far. Like I know
Mhm.
Vasif Air maybe and three players from Lanka Lions. I mean that's about it.
I believe that should
So
be Ace Lord, Ash, and Nightmare.
yeah, nightmare. Because like World has played versus them, and I've seen them play for like the last year or so. I haven't coached them, I think. Like I haven't coached them for a while. Like I've coached Ace
Right.
Lord maybe and Ash a little
Hmm.
bit.
So I've casted their last game. Ash was
Mhm.
playing support Thresh, and he landed some good
Oh yeah,
hooks. And
Ash is playing support this tournament because they got a new mid laner. Yeah, Ash used to be a mid laner. It was really good. So it was like surprising when I saw that he like transitioned to a support player, which is like mildly interesting. But yeah, I don't
mm,
know how he's been doing on the support role, but he's like overall like a fundamentally okay and good player. So I guess we'll see.
I guess we will see. So Zhao Raven, I've seen that he's sitting on the island in the top lane, and he's not doing much for the team. Like just I'm just judging from the last game I casted, so it's not
Uh-huh.
much. He's not involved in any action that the team is doing in on the bot or the mid lane.
No, but he could be like fulfilling a specific role. Does he play tanks or is he
He
playing
plays
carry?
tanks.
So
Yes, he was
yeah,
playing.
yeah, then that means he's like opting for like mid game team fights. He doesn't have to like have an impact, right? I
So
guess it's okay.
according to the stat sheet, he only has around 2 assists per game or stuff like that. One death, so not much.
I
So
guess
yes.
he's like top lane's island basically in this tournament. What you're
Hmm.
trying to say, like top
Yeah.
lane's nothing happening. But
But
versus Vasif, I think Vasif's like very aggro, so he'll
if he
push
gets
for a
his
lead.
hand, yeah, if he gets his hand on the Darius, I believe Zhao Raven might face difficult lane. But
Uh-huh.
okay, I guess so. The champion selection, we'll have to see how this goes. So first ban goes to Ash from Lanka Lions,
So Lanka on the blue side, that means they have the first pick and they get to choose what they want to like build into, what comp they want to play, right?
and
They
they'll take
always
away
have.
the Darius.
Yeah. They're like, no, we're not risking it, right? We play tank tops. We know Darius can like beat them. We're not taking that risk.
Hmm. So Xin Zhao was taken away. What do you think about the early uh, like dominance from Xin Zhao?
So I think Zinza was banned because his ace lord is like a one trick, like a filthy Zinza one trick. So I think it's like fair to ban Zinza versus him, right?
And
Because he
also,
has played. I think he has played a lot of Zinza in this tournament, and even before he used to play Zinza, right?
yeah,
So
and it's also the Pakistani national champion. So I believe
yeah,
that's another reason.
because of YOLO, like YOLO Lich, actually a lot of players played it. True.
Yep, Malzahar Aurelia. Oh, Aurelia reminds me of Amy, how good he is on that champion. So yes, he was taken away for like from Broadbent, I believe, or Aluman. Aluman has had a really good CS per minute on the champion. I believe he's a one trick pony on Aurelia, if I'm not wrong.
Okay. So I don't know any of these players. I've like never like seen them or playing with them
Hmm.
or
Hmm.
interact
I'm,
with
ju-
them
I'm
even,
just
right?
talking about because I've watched them play in this
Yeah.
tournament. Before that, I
Because
have no idea.
Vasav used to play with like completely different people
Hmm.
before. The team
Yes.
was like completely different. I think you were
Mhm.
in the team too for a while,
Yes.
right?
It was Frozen Matrix he used to play for.
Yeah.
So first pick was locked in by Lanka Lions. It's gonna be Morgana. So why do you think they have like taken this as a first pick? They have like it's a high priority pick for them. It appears.
Okay, so this might be like based on multiple decisions. Like they could have picked Morgana because they play it, right? The
Hmm.
enemy team plays it, of course, or they could have just picked it to deny their supports, right? Because they might have known that their supports play these three champions and Morgana is good versus them. Or they might
Hmm.
want to flex Morgana. Like Morgana is a good flex. You can like still play her mid. I think Morgana mid is really solid if you play into her like a Zoe or something like that.
And yeah, we all know about the augment path,
Yeah.
and yeah, definitely can be a flex pick, a very safe pick on the bot lane. And are we gonna see much re jungle? I highly doubt it.
Yeah, Mashini Jungle is like kind of saying like we don't care we if you pick like Remesh or something and two tanks and we'll be okay. But
Or the
so
old
I don't think
school,
yeah.
right? It's gonna be Sejuani.
So go on.
So I believe they're going for the pick style draft here. What do you say about that?
Not really pick. They're going for something like mid game, I'd say, because Johnny needs to hit six, right? Ezreal scared is a mid game. Morgana
Hmm.
is okay in lane, right? So normally when
Hmm.
you pick Ezreal Morgana, Morgana can be a roaming support. Morgana can be like really oppressive in lane,
Hmm.
right? Ez just wants to get in mid game, and J4 is like a questionable pick into Sejuani because I think Sejuani kind of like wins that matchup post mid game. Like early game,
Hmm.
Sejuani's J4's clear is just as weak as Sejuani, right? So normally
Right.
you want to avoid picking J4 into a set, which I feel like was a mistake from the red team side. So
I believe it's just a drafting error. But
yeah,
yes, so it is going to be Caitlyn, Lulu. It's a decent bot lane. It's decent champions. What do you have to say about those champions in the
okay.
bot
So
lane?
Kate, when you flick when you see Caitlyn, you think like a lane bully or like a really good sealer, right? So the only
Hmm.
reason you'd pick Cait if you want to have like really good objective control, you want to take
Hmm.
down a lot of towers, dragons, barons, or you want to bully lane like really
Hmm.
hard, right?
Yeah,
So if you want to bully lane, why would you pick a Lulu with that Caitlyn, right? That doesn't make
definitely.
sense.
So I believe Morgana was taken away, and maybe they planned to get Morgana Caitlyn bot lane.
Yeah, but they
So
couldn't, so now they have to play Lulu. True.
yeah, definitely. So Jax and Zoe were taken away in the next banding phase, along with Jace and Renekton. Renekton and Jace, they are really strong in the early laning phase. Am I right, Flux?
Yeah, those are like good lane bullies. Like Renekton is
Hmm.
really strong. I'm surprised like how Renekton's like getting by. I think because in pro play it doesn't see a lot of pro play.
Hmm.
So Renekton is like super strong in solo queue and at this level of play, like where these players
Hmm.
are,
Hmm.
Renekton is a really good pick. So I'm glad to see it's banned because Vasif on these like you'll see like four top laners banned, right? So
Yeah, and definitely Wasif is comfortable on
yeah,
that champion, and
yeah,
not to forget the changes on the shield removing ability that the W
yeah,
ha
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's really
Renekton.
good.
Yeah. Hmm. So yeah, that's something to look forward. So yeah,
So
Mordekaiser is going to be picked, I believe. But
yeah,
yeah.
I think so. So now picking Mordecai is really good because you've already banned Darius, Renekton, and Zeus. These are like the three champs that could possibly like would have killed him or like given him trouble. Now there's nothing there, right? I don't think
E-
there's anything left that can even like
Even
stop
the
Mordy from.
Jax was taken away.
Yeah,
That can in the mid to late game can contest Mordekaiser.
true.
So very interesting pick coming from Lanka Lions Akali for the mid lane, I believe.
Hmm. I don't know about Akali, but like look at now Lanka Lions draft the lack. They kind of unless like Ezreal decides to go for Lady, right? They're going to kind of lack physical damage, right?
AD, yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah, and what that would mean is like they would need to win or ace fights before they can take turrets, right? So they
Hmm.
can't just like walk up and start like cheesing turrets with Ezreal's poke or using Morgana. They'll have to get pecks
Hmm.
using that Mod, Sejuani, or Akali,
Hmm.
and then based on that, they could maybe see Sour. So instantly, like you could tell that Lanka Lions are not looking to seize, right? They want their picks. They want to like get those picks, get objectives, get the Baron, and eventually end that game with Baron, right?
Hmm. So
Comparatively, like red team's a lot better, like when it comes to sieging, right? Because they have that Caitlyn and Syndra can just ult someone for force them to go base, right? And they
mhm.
can just take the turret and walk away, right?
They also have the diving potential, I believe, with the Lulu and the on the
Yeah,
and the Olaf,
like they have like a
whichever.
kind of a disengage and a
Hmm.
peel because of Lulu, right?
Yeah,
So
definitely. So interesting draft from both the teams.
yeah,
Let's see who plays it better.
so I think
Hmm.
it'll come down to whoever like if Lanka Lions can get more picks and as well can
Hmm.
scale into mid game, right?
Hmm.
They'll be fine. But if Olaf gets fired early or like Jafer finds some ganks, right? Or Caitlyn
Hmm.
get to two or three items, I think Lanka Lions might be in trouble, right?
Might be in trouble. So
Because yeah,
the question is, which jungler plays uh, their
so
game in the best way?
yeah, it mainly will come down to how well Olaf does and how well both the junglers do, and mainly also bot lanes, right? So Caitlyn and Lulu, I don't know if they can like give Morgana as well a lot of trouble, but they should be like up in CS at least, right? So Caitlyn should be up in items. because they need to
Definitely.
use that Caitlyn pick to get something before Ezreal comes online, right? Otherwise,
Online,
the Caitlyn
definitely.
pick doesn't mean anything.
Definitely. She needs to act as a lane bully in order for them to win or even
Yeah.
contest the
Whereas
objectives.
Johnny just needs to hit six, right? Mod just needs to hit six. So at Lanka line, it's just like level six waiting room, right? So just they,
Yeah,
they need to wait for level six and then look for plays and then just get objectives based on those plays. Whereas the pressure is on the red team to do something, so they don't
free
get to
sticks.
that part where they are getting free picks and getting free objectives, right? But the
So the only
game should be
Mhm.
like very bloody, so I don't think like it'll get to that part safely. Like I think Lanka lines will die before
A
they can
lot
get to
before,
level six.
right? So you're
Not a
saying
lot,
this.
but they would
Mhm.
die. Yeah.
So you're saying the window B4S has only level till level 6. That's the only window they have to make something to get a very good lead in order to
Yeah,
stop
for
the game.
for them to like ensure that they win, they need to get that lead. But if they even if they don't, like it will be a close, it will still be a close game, but
Mhm.
it will be harder for them to win. Then the pressure would be on them to do something. Because in
Mhm.
scaling, like they win, like blue team definitely wins them.
Mhm. The choice of summoners on the bot lane of Lanka Lions, I believe Ezreal's many Ezreals do go for the teleport.
Yeah,
With
most ADCs do.
And if you see on the side of Olaf on the B4S, Tankistan is not running an ignite or a ghost. What do you have to say about that?
So basically, like they're basically going for like lane aggression. They're looking to trade, like
Hmm.
so they want to like engage in a 2v2, or they're going to call down the Sejuani early on or someone, right? So they want to
Hmm.
like engage in players so the heal comes in handy, right? They want to win the 2v2 at bot. Basically, this means, right?
Right.
Teleports is when you want to ignore the enemy bot lane. Your support is roaming, right? And you just want
Hmm.
to farm it out till mid game, right? But I
Definitely.
don't think that's the case here. So they're like trying to look for a 2v2 or get a lead in bot lane, just based on I think the thing they might be more individually scared or higher in
They
skill cap, right?
this plan might backfire as we just spoke that
Yeah. Yeah,
the
because
other
Caitlyn can
B4S.
stand at a very safe range, right? If
Definitely.
Caitlyn that's like standing at max range, last hitting creeps, it's very hard for Morgana to hit her Q. And
Hmm.
Lulu can just position behind Morgana, sorry, Caitlyn, unless she wants to poke, right? Unless she
Right.
wants to poke, which would be kind of bad. If Lulu decides to walk up, she could
Hmm.
potentially die, right? Because Morgana bind, if she it hits, I don't think Caitlyn can retaliate in a way that will save them. So
Right.
kind of come down to how they play and how the players like read the situation, right?
Definitely. So the keystones. So Morgana is running Summon 80. It's not going to
Mhm.
be a Comet Morgana.
Yeah.
It's a bit laggy here. Okay. Okay. And both the supports are going for the Summon 80. Nobody's going for that Comet and the poking laning phase.
I don't think you're like you can run Comet on Lulu. I don't think it's as good, right? You're
Hmm.
supposed to run either Guardian or Airy. Like both are
Hmm.
Guardians, like more kind of situational where you want to like deny them poke, whereas Airy is if you want to like trade and poke, right? So they both are looking to trade and play kind of aggro. Even though like I think Ezreal should be looking to just farm up and get to those two items and let Morgana roam, but let's see.
Hmm. But if that's the case, I would say that teleport would be a better choice.
Yeah, then teleport would be a better choice if they weren't.
Mhm.
So
I believe I'm going to change this to India because it's not giving a started, but we have a traditional pause. So let's see what's wrong with that. It's a bit clearer now.
yeah. So I guess his client bugged. Morgana's client bugged, so she's not there. So we're just gonna have to wait till he reconnects, I think.
So Flux, what do you have to say about the Guardian Morgana? Is it really viable or it's just something? Uh,
Guardian's viable. Like Guardian's really good. So there's a like specific reason to pick Guardian, right? You want to
mhm,
pick Guardian. So like there are like you see it in pro play whenever they're playing a really aggro bot lane. So like if you're playing something like Draven or like a
mhm,
Kaisa, sorry, not Kaisa, Kalista, right?
mhm,
Kalista, they're like super aggro ADCs, right? And then you have like aggro supports that can poke you down or do a lot of damage, right? You
mhm,
can just pick Guardian. So like if you're against a Thresh or something or a Pike, you can take
mhm.
the Guardian and like hug your ADC. So if you get engaged on, the Guardian shield basically saves you from the trade, right? So
Definitely,
it's
it does.
okay, but it's okay situationally. Like it's like super situational. You
Mhm,
can't run it in every lane, but
mhm. It's not something you can
like
go and use it in solo
yeah,
queue every game. Yeah. You have
Yeah,
to
no,
be
it's
prepared.
not for solo queue. Guardian's not for solo queue. You can't like expect your ADC to understand like what it does, especially if you're like below D2, right? You can't
Hmm.
really expect your teammates to know what
I
the
believe
thing
that,
does. This
yeah,
is like,
that's something someone was saying in my game. They were saying the Guardian Morgana is not really for low elo solo queue players. It's
yeah,
more, yeah. I believe
it's
that's
more
right.
of a like organized play thing, right? If your
Hmm.
teams know what things do and like they have better understanding of the game, maybe, right?
Definitely, and synergy comes to play when we are talking about the competitive scene.
Yeah,
So yeah.
not just synergy, like just being more prepared, playing proactively, having plans, having setups,
Hmm.
understanding like they can cheese and we can cheese. Like if,
Hmm.
for example, if two teams are like close in skill cap, if you like see a level two gank at mid, you
Hmm.
should probably acknowledge that they see it too, right? Because they're the same caliber as you, right? So if
Right.
you're thinking I'm gonna go level two gank mid, they probably see it too. So normally their jungle would be there as well, right? So it could easily backfire, right?
Hmm.
So the teams
Definitely.
that like acknowledge these kind of things and like play on these, right, they can use this to their advantage, or they can just like take the coin flip. Most teams, like 90% of the teams, will take the coin flip, right?
Hmm.
Let's be honest, right? But
Definitely.
good
Yeah.
teams won't. Good teams would like be
I
prepared
think
and they'd know what to do.
this is something that separates the good teams from the great teams.
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely. Having that type of thinking, be able to
yeah.
make that those decisions. Yeah. This is a long pause. Bigger B, can you please confirm what's the issue here?
Mm.
Do we have any updates on the Portal game?
Well, that was a fun game to watch though. Should have.
So Flux was telling me there was a Lee Sin support in that game. So yes,
Yeah, their bot lane was playing top, and it was like they're trolling, right? Like
they
they
used to
should have
call it.
played 4v5. Thrall's not good enough, right? Play 4v5 and play four supports. Then right? Then it's something.
Yeah, I believe you have a point there.
Yeah.
So there was a lane swap. Bot lane was playing on the top lane, and Zoe or Zen on the Zoe was playing alone against the
Yeah,
two
solo
AD
bot lane.
carry.
And there was a Pyke jungle. There was like a random Pyke jungle.
And his E
Who,
doesn't even apply on the monsters, I
yeah,
believe.
it
Yeah.
doesn't do any damage. Like, that's weird. I don't
So
know.
yes, Portal really disrespecting Hyman rammers here. So, but
Yeah.
as I said in the seeding, some Hymens are gonna be rammed.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
interesting game.
Okay.
I
Okay, so
believe it was.
Conqueror versus Conqueror top lane. Olaf doesn't have like a ghost or ignite, right? So he's not really going for the kills unless J4 comes top. Yeah, electrocute mid, barrier mid. Pretty standard stuff. I don't
I
know the
believe it.
lethal
Mhm.
tempo thing on Caitlyn. Is this something like I missed? I haven't like watched any league in a month or so, right? I've been totally cut
Right.
off from the pro scene or whatever, so I don't know. It might be a thing, but I don't think like it's. I
Most
don't
of
know.
the
Like, why
ADCs.
would you take?
Right. Most of
Yeah,
the
sorry.
ADCs do go for the sustain, and they go for the fleet footwork. But yes, I have seen the ADCs who want to take the trades and be a lane bully, as we
No,
just
but
agreed
like
that.
you'd expect this kind of keystone on someone like Kalista. That makes more sense. On Kaisa, it makes sense, right? On
Mhm.
Jinx, it would make sense. But on
Zaya,
Caitlyn, why would you? Yeah,
even
obviously
Zaya.
that, but I don't know about Caitlyn. Like, why would you need the extra attack speed, right? You're not even
Hmm.
gonna break your attack speed cap from your items because
Hmm.
you might probably go the Essence Cleaver build, right? Essence Infinity or whatever, like the
Hmm.
high crit build where you just try to one shot people based on your headshots and
Definitely.
traps and E, right?
Yep. Yep.
So she doesn't need that attack speed. And even like if you look at the team comp, the team fight's not going to be long enough where she can even get like 4 or 6 auto attacks. It's either she's going to kill someone or she's
Hmm.
going to die, right? She's
So
not gonna get time to. Yeah.
out of so many pro games, I'm looking at only one player, Neon in US, playing Lethal Tempo on the skate lane with the teleport. So yes, it's played,
That was,
but it's really rare.
what's his MMR though? Like that. That's one important. Like what MMR is? Yeah. Is the pro player?
Oh, the guy, it's Neon. So
Yeah, Neon.
I'm
Is
not
he a
really.
pro
Yeah,
player?
I believe he should be if he's there.
I guess. Okay. But I don't know widespread, right? So I can't really like comment on that. I don't know why it's good or
He is a pro player. Yeah.
yeah. So you see them walking to cover or invade. This is interesting.
This is going to be an invade. They're looking for a kill here. Lanka Lions. It's I believe they're going to just group down the mid lane and look for a kill.
Mhm.
Maybe they're going to catch Jarvan warding the pixel push, something like that. They do have the Morgana bind for that. And on the other side, we don't have really we don't have the tools on B4S to really invade. There's another pause. Do we know why is it?
Oh, that kind of sucks.
I've been getting reports.
And
Faint Smile is works in a hospital, and that's why that's
the nightmare guy, the nightmare, I think, the ADC, right? As well. Yeah.
no B4S B4S Faint
Okay.
Smile. I think he works in the hospital, so I
Okay.
believe he
Okay.
had something to do. He's a doctor, I believe.
Right.
So what about the
Uh,
predictions, Flux? What do you think? Who's gonna win today?
who's gonna win? I think Lanka Lions will take this. Like, I don't think it's going to be close. I think it might be close. Knowing Lanka Lions, it'll be close, right? But I think Lanka Lions win.
Right. So do you think it's gonna be a straight 2-0 or they're gonna
Yeah, I
be?
can't. I really don't know. I haven't seen like the
Hmm.
right red team play. If I had seen
Hmm.
them play, I'd be more confident on a prediction or whatever, right?
Hmm.
But upsets happen, right?
Okay.
Lanka Lions could
What
lose,
does
so
your
we don't know.
okay? So we asked you what your mind says. So what does your heart say?
I hate Havasar. Fuck. Never mind. I'm sorry. So I think Lanka Lions will win.
Look, Alliance will win definitely.
Yeah,
So
I'm
in
just
terms,
kidding. Okay, I don't hate anyone, right? Okay, I'm just kidding. But Vasu has said like pretty dumb stuff to me in the past, so whatever.
yeah, the decision making was questionable in the past. Yes, I've played with
No,
him in the
not
team.
just decision making, just in general, like super dumb stuff, right?
Hmm.
But okay, like I don't judge it, like players anymore over what they
Hmm.
say or do. Okay.
Definitely. But in terms of rank, I believe Lanka Alliance has it in their pocket. It's just
Um,
yeah, depending on the ranks. That's it.
so I know in Lanka Lines, I know like Nightmare is kind of Nightmare is like a coin flip, right? If he
Hmm.
does well, he'll go 9-0. If he
Hmm.
doesn't, like it might be 0-4 or 5, right? But Ash is consistent, right? Ace Lord's okay, right? Ace Lords will do okay normally. But I don't
Hmm.
know their mid laner and top laner. So if they picked a new mid laner, like it might be because he might be better than Ash, right? Because Ash was the previous mid laner, and Ash was okay, right? Ash was good at mid, so he might be
Hmm.
better than Ash actually. So I actually will just watch him. But I think Lanka Lions will win the series. Like I think they should because like Sejani, like if you just look at comps, like so if we're like 10 bots are playing this, I think Lanka Lions would win. Like their comp wins post mid game easily because a laugh after like 30 minutes is like a potato sack, right? It doesn't do anything. Yeah, it's literally a potato sack. I'm not even like joking. Like it doesn't do anything. So unless it's like super fed, right? Unless you give it 6 items at 30 minutes and he's just split pushing while your team hits Baron or something, right? Laugh's not gonna do anything. So a laugh needs to get really fed, and a lot of things need to go just right for the red team to be able to like win this game or whatever, right? Or a lot of things need to go wrong for Lanka Lions to lose this game.
A lot of things need to go wrong in order
Yeah.
for them to win, right? So someone from the YouTube chat asked about the jungler 2v2s and 3v3s. Ask him about the Jarvan Electrocute Rune choice over Conqueror,
Okay,
and
so
ask.
if a TVTs happen, normally when you look at TVTs,
Mhm.
you should know that as the game's resumed, we'll talk about it. Let's see what if
Definitely.
invade
We'll
happens.
have a look. The Tempest, just hold that thought. It's really blurry. Someone flash out, and it's gonna be an E on two members of B4S. I believe it's gonna be a first blood for Morgana. It's it's really uh not good. The quality is not good. And Flux, you
Yeah,
jinxed it, by the
that's
way. We were doing
I don't
Discord.
jinx it. I told you. I just okay. It's okay. I'm not gonna say anything.
Yeah, do something
Yeah,
about it because we were doing it every day and it was fine.
yeah. So what we're doing right now? Okay, it improved actually.
Yes.
Thank
So
God about
Central
that.
Europe is
Yeah,
the
sorry about
choice.
that, guys. We're just watching on a Discord screen share, so we're synced with the streamer. So So
Right. So
they end up picking a first round on Morgana. Morgana got boots. That means she's looking for a Moby and she's looking to roam. So like that's a lot of pressure. So that means red team needs to be very careful and have vision in the bot river. Otherwise,
Mhm.
that Morgana is gonna cause a lot of trouble.
It was Jarvan who died, so I believe his early game is going to be affected by that. And even
Not really. I don't think it affects him. It affects bot lane. His bot lane is gonna have trouble because Morgana got the kill, right? And
I mean, mentally his decision making is going to be affected. Like if you die
uh,
alone one, great
okay,
bind from Ash there, landing a bit of poke in the lane. So as we spoke, the
yeah,
Caitlyn needs to be the lane bully here. I
yeah,
believe Lanka lines are doing that job. If you see the
yeah,
HP bars.
yeah. So the Lulu is also playing very aggressive. Like this can be like a double-edged sword. Like it could work for the Caitlyn because she has lethal tempo, right? Or it could
Hmm.
backfire. If he like at level 2 or 3, if she gets hit by a binding, I think she'll just
Hmm.
die, right?
She'll die
So
definitely.
yeah, so it's
But the
up to how Lulu plays this and how well Caitlyn like last hits and
reacts.
trades.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Reacts to
and
that, yeah. And yeah, but the ignite on Ash is on cooldown because of the first blood
yeah.
he got. Yeah, but the trading is going to work for Ezreal because of that kleptomancy gold and
So
extra items.
eh, yeah, but here so Ash decided to buy boots here, right?
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
what like most people won't understand is if he had went for a, like a ruby crystal because he got the 400 gold, right? He could have
Hmm.
easily gone a ruby crystal or something. That
Hmm.
150 raw health would mean he could just walk up at level 1 and
Hmm.
tank like 3 hits from Caitlyn, and that could just win them the lane. So boots, the moment switch start, like the first blood basically doesn't mean anything here because the
Yep.
boots aren't doing much for him because there's
Hmm.
like no skill shots that he's need to dodge with his
Yep.
boots, and he's like super far away from Mobius, right? Maybe
Was.
it'll turn into something in like 4 or 5 minutes, but right now it's like 400 gold, kind of wasted, right?
It's not going
They
to
could
do
have won
much.
this lane.
So you're saying it's not going to do much at this point of the game,
Yeah,
but yeah, I see the point there. Yeah, extra health in the laning phase with all the trades and Caitlyn being the lane bully that could have
yeah.
done a much better job.
So Caitlyn are like building a slow push. This means like Ezreal and Morgana will be stuck in the turret to last it, right? And this allows for them to like get more control of not just bot lane but the bot river, right? So
Hmm.
what is the first dragon of the game? I didn't know that, so I guess we'll just
Well,
wait.
both the jugglers are pathing towards top. Looks like it's going
Yeah.
to be a level 2 to 3
Okay, the
gank on
first
the
lake
top
is
lane.
actually ocean. I can actually see it. I'm just dumb, guys. I'm sorry. So it's the
Hmm.
ocean. We can see it on the right side. Right, change that. Like I haven't seen this spectator view before.
No, that's actually a custom from Bigger B. He
Okay,
actually
okay.
added that. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. So the first lake is going to be it's actually a spectator thing, but okay.
Is it?
So basically, yeah, it's right area, that means. So basically, the first ocean drake means whoever gets the first ocean drake. If the red team gets the first ocean drake, this bot lane could be over, by the way. The Lulu Caitlyn will just like overpower Azul Morgana.
Hmm.
Same for like the blue team.
Hmm.
So I think early ocean is pretty like oceans normally after 10 minutes don't really mean much, but like pre 10 minutes they could like change laning phase completely, right?
Right.
So, but
Yeah.
both the junglers are not like the kind of junglers that can like solo these dragons, right? They kind
Hmm.
of need their team. So something would have to happen at bot or mid. Like
Hmm.
one side would have to win a trade or a skirmish, and then they could like get the dragon or whatever, right?
So lane priority is a big thing about
Yeah.
for the Drakes in this game. Definitely. So Sejuani has the scuttle control at the moment as Jarvan is clearing his top side of the map.
Yeah. So, but like if you look at Sejuani's pathing, she went red and went to her blue side jungle, right? Just
Hmm.
went blue gromp, right? She didn't like decide or choose to kill Krugs and Raptors. What this means is his level 6 is going to be delayed, right? That's actually a
Those are
nice
some
one.
nice binds, yeah,
Yeah.
from Ash. But
Alright.
really great pick from Paint.
Yeah.
He is not hesitating to take the trade and to pick up those kills. It's really blurry, but yes, I'm trying my best to see what's happening here.
Yeah. So basically, what happened there is like Morgana used her bind, and Ezreal has CS to last it, and
Hmm.
Morgana made the mistake of walking up, and since he chose to like spend that first blood gold on boots. He had
Hmm.
no stats or like no advantage, and he just walks up. Caitlyn had the headshot and the lethal tempo, and that just ends up turning into a kill, right? So Caitlyn
Definitely.
like doing her job really well with the Lulu, right? Winning their bot lane. So that means the bot lane's Ezreal is going to have a really hard time now, and red teams got their like first step towards their win condition, which
Hmm.
means getting the Caitlyn ahead. So things are like looking good for the red team actually. Can we just like spectate in game, or is the
I
lobby
believe
closed?
I
Uh,
believe we should
okay,
we can start from the game as well.
because I can barely see anything on the Discord. But okay,
Me, I've started spectating the game.
and we see. Yeah, yeah, it's like there. So you see a solo kill again at top lane where Marty ends up dying and Olaf's already 11 CS up. So things are
I
actually
think this is gonna
really.
be. He's gonna flash to safety, but will it be enough? Yes, they will make it out of this Sejuani gank.
Yeah.
Flash was burned on the Caitlyn and heal as well. Heal is on cooldown.
So what basically their bot lane's winning, the gank failed from the blue side. Sidvani didn't choose to like catch up XP her camps from the bot side. That means her six is the lead, and Mart just lost his lane, right? Alaf is like up in a like 12 or 14 CS, right? And then he just got a solo kill. That means like Alaf's like super ahead, which is like the kind of like second thing they need to do in this game.
Hmm.
Now if J4 hits six, the things are looking really good for they have like solid chance at like winning this game now. So Lanka Lions looking in trouble right now. Um, let's see how like them transition to mid game times out. But for now, I think so. As is up in CS actually, as is up in 4 CS, but that's because the Caitlyn hasn't just caught that wave, and they had to back because the Johnny ganked that lane, right? So it's actually
Yes,
kind of even.
and she'll
And
be hugging her turret for a little while as the summoners were burned. And there's also something. The Lanka Lions have a lot of competitive experience compared to the very new team before SS. They're
yeah.
actually new players and they never knew each other and they formed a team for this Pakistan LCS. But Lanka Lions, on the other
Okay, so they're
hand, they have
competing for the first time. So that like
exactly.
the nerves could get to them. You're basically what you're saying. Yeah,
Hmm.
stuff could happen. Lanka Lions might not just give up right now.
Yeah.
Okay. No, that's fair actually. But you see a lot of control wards picked up from Lanka lines. That's where you see like the inexperience showing from the red team, right?
Hmm.
Like the
Definitely.
vision control on Lanka lines would be a lot better because of all those control wards picked up.
And even though they failed the first gank, but they will be able to pick a lot of kills using that vision control that they are
Yeah.
establishing at the moment. So once again, a flashless Caitlyn is looking to apply pressure on the bot lane, and Ocean Drake is on the table. Both the junglers are on the same side of the map. Looks like it's going to be a 3v3 on the bot lane in some time. Sejuani is moving on the bot side.
So what time is it in game? So basically, like 7:10 is basically the time when you should. Yes.
It is a gang. Flash forward. The bind hits, and this is game over for Faint Smile. He's gonna be in the base for a while. Lulu's looking for a kill there, but it's not gonna be enough. And Ace Lord is gonna pick up a kill. Jarvan walks in and kills the Ezreal, I believe. It's too blurry again. Can you do something about it, BKB? But another return kill.
Yeah, that's what it is. I think I can't see anything.
I don't have that, but I'll. That's okay. I guess it's okay for me now.
So if you like change the server, it's okay for a bit. Then it again
Hmm.
like
Keep
deteriorates.
on changing the server
Yeah.
every 30
Uh,
seconds.
I guess
But it was a lot of kills. It was not
yeah,
clear for me.
there's a lot of nice mindings from Morgana. Sejuani burns a flash, right? And
Mhm.
ends up getting the bot lane back on track, right? You'd say, because now S can easily scale. Morgana has the movie boots now. They can,
She's gonna look for all the roaming.
well, yeah, she
And
can get more vision, get more control wards down, right? And get more map awareness, map pressure,
mhm,
presence, right? And then look
mhm,
for those drops, obviously, right?
definitely.
So things are looking okay now, actually, for Lanka Lions after
So
the
bot
last.
bot lane is gonna okay. Another vine is gonna land a nightmare following with those queues. So I think bot lane is playing a very important role in this game. This is
Yeah.
something we ignored while we were discussing about the game and
Yeah, the
the game
bot lanes
plan.
was always going to be important, right? If Caitlyn wins or like Ezreal's jobs to scale, right? Ezreal doesn't do
Hmm.
much right now. It's all the works from Morgana basically, right?
Yep.
Morgana's doing most of the work and the Sejuani gangs. So
Hmm.
something else I was talking about, like Sejuani hit level 6 at 9 minutes, right? That's super late. Normally when you're playing level 6 singlers, you should like um, aim to hit 6 by Okay, we see a gank from
Mhm.
Sejuani actually. She ends up landing her ult and a retaliation coming from red team, and they end up taking a kill on Sejuani actually, right? So they contest the
Oh,
control.
it's gonna be a
Yeah.
kill for Faint Smile. I was actually watching the YouTube. Oh, my bad there.
Okay, so
So they're gonna group four
basically,
man on the bot side, pick up some
yeah.
plates.
So basically,
That's
what
it.
ends up happening is the team whoever takes the first play, and if the red team's in position to answer it, the other
Hmm.
team normally would win, right? So kind of same thing happens. Blue team takes a play, and red team was like in position to respond. They responded, and they win. Ketan picks up the second kill with her art, and ends up backfiring for Lanka Lions. Even though Sejuani had the art, right? And Alaf's already doing really well. Alaf has a lot of CS up on. Mordekaiser has a lot of pressure. Hasn't gone any plates or checkpoints, but guess eventually he will.
Jarvan might be in trouble there, but he's gonna get away.
Yeah,
Both the teams are looking for that early river control using the
yeah.
wards and as we talked about
Because all the
all
plays are
this.
happening around bot lane, right? So
Hmm.
the bot lane river control vision is really important.
Lanka Lions
So
are
what
having a
happened to
go at.
Lanka Lions just now?
Hmm.
Sorry.
They are
Yeah,
having a go at it at the Drake. It's gonna be uncontested, I believe. It's not
yeah.
because of the
And this will
recall
help their
times.
bot lane a lot.
Yep, those
Like this,
region.
this
Yeah,
completely changed how the bot lane's played because Ezreal can spam a lot more now with that tier, right? And region up, right? So they can take a lot more trades, go back
even
for
the
10
Morgana.
seconds.
Aluman is in trouble. The bind is gonna land. That's a wonderful bind from Ash there.
Yeah. But Akali chooses to not go in, even though she
Hmm.
had her Psalms and Nalt up, right? They decide not to go it, probably because they knew like Syndra had flash barrier up, so it might have been risky. Syndra
Or it might
could
be
have traded
just
for 1 for 1.
communication error. Hmm.
No, but like 1 for 1 trade right there would not be good for Lanka Lions. They need to look for like more solid players where they don't lose as much, right?
Hmm.
So, like, if there was a big wave near Syndra's turret, right, like a
Hmm.
big 2 or 3 wave crashing, and then they trade 1 for 1, and Syndra loses the wave, then I guess it's okay. But right there, it isn't worth to like commit. So I think Olaf
So
just DC'd, and yeah, and he took. I was thinking about why he's taking that bad a trade, but he just DC'd, and we're not gonna see a pause. Surprisingly, our
there
team
might
hasn't
be,
paused yet.
there should be a pause there, but yeah,
Yeah,
they,
okay, that's kind of delayed, but okay, we get that.
so yeah, a lot of action is on the bot side, but as one of the viewers just asked, how the 2v2 and the 3v3s are going to be on the top side, and so what do you think about that one? But yeah.
So two v twos, I think Sejuani always win the two v twos. Jaffer can't do anything. If Sejuani ults, right, anyone
Hmm.
and the team's there, it's going
Hmm.
to be confirmed. Like Jaffer can't do much unless Sejuani's team was not in position. Some reason like you saw at the Tribers thing, right, where
Hmm.
Sejuani ulted and no one is positioned to deal damage
Hmm.
to the Lulu where he ulted the Lulu,
Hmm.
right, and then it backfired, right. So it kind of depends on the lane states and if when
The setup.
Sejuani engages and the setup, right? Exactly when the
Yeah.
Sejuani engages and if Ezreal is in position to deal damage or Akali is in range to like delay the lethal or whatever, right? It could work, but
Hmm.
same for like red team, right? So for
Hmm.
them, if J4 traps someone and but Caitlyn has a lot of range, so it's kind of like falls to a right side favor in the bot lane. If
Hmm.
like something a 3v3 happens at bot lane, Caitlyn Lulu would be more advantageous because Lulu can just ult J4 and CC everyone in the J4 ult, and
Hmm.
Caitlyn can still deal damage from a safe range, but Ezreal can't do much about that, right?
Hmm. And
So
the keystone is working for her in her favor.
yeah,
The
and Caitlyn already has Infinity at 12 minutes, which is really impressive, right? So 12 minutes is like a really good time to get like your first item for ADCs, right? So you see like Ezreal decided to go tier and Sheen, which means he is not close to like Iceman Gauntlet right now, or his mana. I mean, he'd have to wait 2 more minutes, which means it gets like 2 or 3 minutes for Caitlyn to get a lot more damage to the bot turret or like their bot lane, right? They can win another trade off of this, right? But what's weird is like Jeffers deciding to go for a Tiamat instead of building tapping like Tanky, and
Mhm.
Olaf's already going for a Cleaver, which means they're not gonna have a front line. And without a front line, Caitlyn, Syndra won't be able to do much, right? So
Yeah,
that's like one of the biggest like ticking time bombs on the red team side. Like it could completely backfire later on.
something they should realize and fix as if they want to close this game. But yeah, CS
Yeah,
numbers in the top and the mid lane are looking really good as of now compared to the
yeah.
Lanka Lions.
admit they should be like slightly more better because Akali can't really do much versus Syndra, right? But it's okay, I guess.
I think it's gonna be a flash forward. Is Morgana is gonna use. They threw everything they had on this Caitlyn,
Yeah,
and
because the Scotland's a threat, so they're just isolating it. They're like, no, you're not going to get your second item before we kill you. Yeah.
yeah, they are really punishing that Caitlyn. The
Yeah.
Flash was live, but it was like there were too many members of Lanka Lions, so there was not much you can do.
And Lulu basically spread from Caitlyn, even though like Lulu's itemization is also very smart, right? She ended up going for the threats because she knew like if she get binded, she's probably dead or Sejuani. And we see
It's the
all
one
in
v
it,
one
right?
action from the Phantom Charger, and the camera moved towards bot. And there's gonna be a dive. Right,
Huh?
Aluman. You just press R and you pick up a kill. That was
Yeah,
really
you just
impressive
press
from
the
Aluman.
skill button and you watch the enemy die. That's so good. He made a mistake and he got punished for it. That's what happens when you make bad plays, right? Like when you miss the lethal in the first time, like Kali should have let go, right,
Hmm.
and let him walk away, but she decides to commit, and then
And that's
Syndra
what
just
happened.
shows her the skill button, like
Yeah,
rams it
she
down,
did
and
not respect the burst that
yeah,
Aluman
Syndra
was
could
going to
do
offer.
exactly.
Yeah, it's
And
really
if
bloody
like
good.
Akali could have waited, she could have gotten the gunbird and then went for all of them. Like it doesn't make sense to like do the all in before the recall, right? She could have
Yeah,
had like more items
hmm,
and
more
all in would
stats.
be
Yeah,
like more confirmed. Even though like Syndra already had a Ludens, right? So it's like riskier to go for that all in, right? But
so there are
she
no
ends up,
summoners in the mid lane, so
yeah.
both the junglers should be looking to punish that on the both sides. But let's. Caitlyn is going to look to siege and pick up that first tower in the bot lane. That's a lot of
And
gold. I believe a
yeah.
lot of support should give the solo gold to the AD carries for that.
I think in this case it's fine because the bot lane's like kind of like one unit in this game, right? Caitlyn has to
Mhm.
stick with Lulu because Jayfer is going AD apparently, right? So I think it's okay if Lulu shares the gold. So Lulu can have some utility items like a Ardent or maybe a Knight's War, whatever, right? Or even Zeke's
Mhm. Mhm.
to support Caitlyn. So I think it's okay if they share the gold because like giving 200 gold to Caitlyn doesn't mean this much at
So
this point because she already has the Infinity.
right, Johnny joined the fight. Picked up a kill
Yeah,
on this Olaf, but there was a return kill, and Olaf
yeah, this
was
was a
able to
one for
make it
one.
1 for 1.
So one for ones are like not really good. If Olaf got a double kill there, like that would be better. But like this doesn't help that much the other team because they are
Javan is
kind of
there to make it a 2
okay.
1, but not gonna be enough.
The ADJ for like it's very surprising to me. Like why players think like ADJ for something in
So you're
general we
saying
should play on.
he should be using Cinder
He should
Hulk
have
and
Cinder Hulk and yeah, he should have a Cinder Hulk and like a Stoneflare or something, right? So he could be just frontline. He could just stall enough so the Caitlyn can do something, right? If he dies instantly, Caitlyn can't do anything, right? So it's kind of like they're kind of like it's like a ticking time bomb when Sejuani is going to be so tanky that it takes like Jafford dies and Sejuani stays up for like 9 or 10 seconds, and in those 9 or 10 seconds, Akali and Azul can do a lot more compared to what the Caitlyn would be able to do, right?
yeah,
So it's basically when you're a jungler in team settings or organized play, you just want to create space for your carries to be able to do something. Unless you get fed. Like if he was fed, like if he had like 6 kills or 7 kills and he was
that's
going
it.
80,
This
it would
this
make
is gonna be
sense.
a
Yeah.
fight. Both the teams are not gonna give up this Shelly easily.
Yeah.
It's gonna be an easy kill on this on the Phantom Charger. It is a messy fight here, and
Yeah.
2 kills for
The
Bronze Force
Lulu's
Smurfs
playing
there.
Lulu Caitlyn are playing really well. Like their positioning is so good. She ends up like polymorphing the Mordekaiser, negative getting kill. And this is something that's kind of bad now.
They're not gonna focus the Shelly, but they went on the Ace Lord and finished him off. Really nice binds, but it's not gonna be much. They are gonna be forced away from the Shelly, and it was picked up by Bronze Force Smurfs. Olaf is looking to run for for his life, but Israel
Yeah. It
wants
does
that
end up
kill
getting
so
the kill.
bad.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So it was like a really messy fight. Like no one knew which target to like focus on, where to go to, right? And we see as well.
Yes, right. He is gonna pick up
Okay.
some kills there, and it's not looking good for Bronze Force Smurfs, who won that. Right.
And Caitlyn gets a return kill. She's like, no, you don't get to walk away after doing all that, right?
Yep. All that
Yeah.
cheesy things.
Yeah.
It's really blurry for me. Can you do something bigger, B?
Can we just like spectate like the real game next time?
Yeah,
Yeah,
from
that would
next
be
game we
like.
can do that.
Well, I don't think we can. I don't think we can anymore. I don't think we can anymore, right? Because like the spectators lobby is closed or whatever in
No,
tournament games.
I could actually.
Okay, you can actually then do it.
Yeah,
Then I'll just
yeah,
spectate you and just go watch there.
yeah, I'll do that actually. The timing might be an issue, but let's see.
It's okay. So the Caitlyn's like getting big and big, but what's like still like the concern is, are they going to have enough front line to be able to like respond? Is Lanka lines going to get their picks? So Akali is like really behind this game, right? So Akali doesn't have a gun blade, right? If Akali had that gun blade, it would be looking a lot better for Lanka lines, and so it's like still kind of in an even spot. Like anyone could win the next fight or get a Baron for free, even though there's no Baron on the map, but right?
Hmm.
Caitlyn just gets caught again, right? So she ends up walking away, I think. And there's the
It's going to
engage
be a
from
shutdown
Akali.
for Phantom.
Yeah.
It,
So Lanka Line just clears the vision in their like bot right side jungle, get vision on river, stand still, wait for Caitlyn to walk up and just get the pick, right? So this
and they
is
are hitting back really hard
yeah.
using the team experience they have acquired over the years. I am on the game, on the real game. Flux, if you wanna
Yeah, okay, I can
spectate me.
spectate, you know. Yep, I can spectate you. It's a closed lobby. So I don't think I can.
Yeah, I am in the game. I can do that. Close yours.
Yeah, I can't send you.
Is it?
Uh,
Does it work? Can you tell me the time on your
okay, I can spectate anyway. I got it from the OP today.
2056? Right. So suit.
You can
Okay,
get rid of the
faint.
screen share by the way. Yep, I can watch the game. I'm in loading though, so sorry
Oh,
about
that's
that, guys.
perfect. Sorry about yeah. Sorry for the technical
It's
error.
a little bit scuffed, so but it's okay. It's still.
But it is an even game, Flux, as we like. It is a tier one
I
versus
think
tier two
Lanka
game.
line's quite a bit ahead. Okay, so we'll see. It still kind of depends on like who makes the more mistakes, but okay. Because if
Definitely.
Caitlyn keeps walking up like that and Sejuani keeps getting the ults, right? I
Hmm.
don't think like they have a chance. Because if they had again, it goes back to it seems like I'm hitting on J or something, but I don't think their team comps good enough without a front line.
Now Luman gets caught once again with this Sejuani ult, but he is gonna get away. Grabbed again by this Zhao Raven, but it's not gonna be enough, and he's gonna die. Olaf
Can you
is
tell me the
looking.
time so I can sync up what
It's
time you're
20,
at?
22, exactly 22.
Okay.
So Lulu is gonna come to the rescue.
Yeah, I'm there.
So, so in no time, Mordekaiser is gonna be on his second item, and he looks scary when that happens. He is
Yeah,
gonna take.
because yeah, it doesn't matter like how bad your lane was. If Morty has two or three items, right? and he gets to that stage where he can just walk into 4 or 5 people and heal and do all that damage, right? He is like a really scary champion, right? So
So
unless you can
there's
like instantly like burst him down with your Syndra or Caitlyn, he can just basically take Syndra into the dark realm while his team
Mhm.
deals with their squishy J4 and Caitlyn, right? And I think that
that
would be
was
pretty good.
that was gonna be my next question.
Yeah.
Can Mordekaiser take Olaf while Olaf is in his ultimate?
Olaf can't be CC'd, but he can like go into the dark realm, right? He should be. I don't know how that interaction goes actually.
Yeah.
Like I haven't been like playing this game or like thinking
Hmm.
about any of this stuff in the past
It is
month.
gonna
So
be very interesting thing to
no,
see when.
I think he'll go into the dark realm. Like he
Mhm.
just won't get hit by his E, right? I think he should be in the dark realm.
Believe, yeah.
Unless it doesn't work like that. That would be surprising if it doesn't work like that. Okay.
So Olaf is after Phantom Charger. But Lanka Lions is looking for an engage. Ace Lord is looking for
Yeah.
that ultimate. Olaf uses his ultimate to get out, and there's a lot of cues from Ezreal. Jarvan goes in, flushes out, and
So
Ezreal
you
is gonna
see,
pick up a kill on them.
J4 can't stay. That's what I was talking about. Like
Yeah,
J4 when he
definitely.
engages, it took like a half second and a half for like Lanka
But it
Lions
is
to
gonna
kill
be
him.
a re-engage from B4S. They're gonna pick up Mordekaiser easily, burst him down. Three members of Lanka Lions are looking to run away. Flashes were used, and looks like Caitlyn is gonna deal a lot of damage.
The red team's looking for blood. They're like, we want the
Mhm.
kills back, right? And
But
they
that
end up
is
getting two. And
the
the
escape
respect
route
from,
of the escape route of Tankistan is really questionable. Like two times
yeah.
he's been caught by the nightmare while running away. So yes,
So
something
instead
he
of like
needs to look at.
backing off where his team backed off from, he decides to go from the and takes a riskier path, right?
Hmm.
And ends up like paying for it with his life, actually.
The same goes for the support
Yeah,
there.
a little.
They're just giving
They're
free
trying to
kills to
contest
this
vision
Ezreal.
when like they have oceans. So the blue team just regen from the first ocean, and they saw them going back on the wards, and they realized they're very low, and so not everyone went back. They went different ways, and blue team just punishes the fact and like gets more lead off of it. So the game looks really even. It's like the same goal, but it's not, right? You know
Hmm.
it's not because Sejuani is going to live a lot longer than the J4. The J4 damage doesn't matter as much, right?
Hmm.
So Lanka lines are really hard, right? So if a
And
team
also
fight
the
breaks it, yeah,
mistakes from the Bronze Force Smurfs, just like the thing you mentioned where they're taking riskier paths and
yeah,
paying by their lives. So yes, that's something they should not do,
yeah.
and they should
That's like
learn
their
from game one.
inexperience showing in the
Mhm.
competitive scene, right? Because they're not like thinking as one unit. They're like kind of playing it's like solo queue and like you won't get punished or these players are bad, right? Where they were no, if I walk this way, nothing would happen, right?
Yeah, hmm.
It's kind of a learning curve. Like people get better eventually, but
I'm sure
right
they
now it's
do.
kind of
But Israel is feeding off those mistakes,
yeah.
and the Baron is live now,
So
and
Nightmare is like known for like playing really aggressive as an ADC, right? So if he has a choice on a Lucian or Vayne to like tumble defensively or offensively, he'd like choose. If he has items, he'd choose to do it offensively, right? Nine
it's
out of
gonna be
ten times.
it's gonna be another engage from Ace Lord, gonna lock down that Lulu, and an easy kill for them.
Yeah, and this
It's
is
not
what I
been
like the
it's
pegs
not
from Sejuani. If Sejuani hits a art and it's just like turns into a peg 90% of the time. If they're in position, of course. If they're not in position, it would be a different story. But now the problem is can kill Baron fast? I don't know. Like if you look at blue team's comps, they have a mountain like this
they do
should
have a
be okay,
mountain.
right?
Yeah.
But I think they have enough damage to take the Baron down, and Sejuani can still tank it, right?
Are they in vision? Is that control ward removing the only ward?
Yeah,
Yeah. So yes, they are in vision.
yeah. They
Before
know
S is
they're
aware.
doing it.
Hmm.
So, but it's like really good for blue team, right? Because they have the double oceans, right? And their Sejuani has the warm-up. They can just keep Baron over and over again, do it, bring them there, poke them, make them go back, or get picks like this.
So Islam is gonna pick Lulu once
Yeah,
again. Nightmare picks up that kill really easily. Phantom Charger is gonna go in aggressively. A really great knock up from the Jarvan, but as you said, he's not gonna be surviving that one. A really great
yeah. But actually,
Q
like
is gonna.
very well played from red team. So the Olaf
Mhm.
ends up teleporting in, right? And He ends up like cleaning up the mess his team made.
Mm-hmm. A
Even though
triple
Lulu
kill,
got
yeah.
picked, it didn't matter. But Nightmare ends up getting out. So if the J4 was tanky, then it would have been an ace. They would have gotten the Baron, and it might have been like almost game, right?
It
So
was a good answer from B4S. That's what you're saying.
yeah,
But it was really a good E stun from Aluman there. While
is it Aluman or is it Aluman? I don't know.
I would say Aluman, man. I
Yeah,
don't
I
know.
think Aluman. I don't know. I don't really know. We speak Urdu, so alus like potatoes, right? So I don't know. Caitlyn like
It is. It
pushing
is.
her limits.
But again, that's the same thing we were talking about moments ago. But yes,
Yeah,
I'm still gonna stay Aluman. I don't know. It
yeah.
rhymes with Shaktiman, so I'm
Let's
just gonna
just
go with
let's just say Syndra, right? Let's just say Syndra. Okay.
Syndra. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, we can
That's
just say
fine.
Syndra, right team and Syndra. That's good enough for me.
Aluman was cute.
Yeah.
But again, the Baron is started by Lanka Lions. It's gonna be
And
an
Lanka
easy
Lions
one
can
if
just keep doing this Baron dance, right? They don't care. Like they can keep doing this over and over again. They know like they have the high ground. Unless they go for a 50-50 and J4 ends up stealing it, I think they're okay.
I want to see the five flashes over
Okay.
the wall. This
So
looks
he
like
takes into
oh,
the Dark Realm.
and brings him in the Baron pit.
Yeah. And this is going to be game, I guess. So this was a really cool play from the Maldi. So I guess Lanka Lions planned this, right? So they see the J4 there in vision, and they were just waiting him to get close so he could EQ. But J4 didn't realize that as he got close, the mod would just ult him in the Dark Realm. The mod ults him into the Dark Realm, and they get the free Baron. Like that was
It was
actually really
actually
smart.
smart
Yeah,
and funny at the same
yeah.
time. But yes, Baron was for Lanka Lions.
So Marty
That's
could
really
die here, right? Olaf's like strong enough to kill Mordekaiser, or not? I don't know.
ooh
It is still very close,
yes.
right? It shouldn't be
But the
this close.
attack speed on the Olaf was able to
Yeah.
get him the kill.
Yeah, Olaf has no lifesteal. If he had lifesteal, he'd be more healthier, I guess. But
Hmm.
again, they get the tier 2 mid turret. They have a Baron. Now it's just like a matter of how they want to end this game and if they don't throw, right? So, but again, for the red team to win right now, Lanka Lions would have to throw the game simultaneously 3 times or more to be in a losing spot, right?
Hmm. The gold
So
lead is not like not that
the
wide.
gold doesn't matter. Like, so you're not like counting that Jeffer's not gonna live. The gold like the red team has isn't
Hmm.
like effective gold. Like it's not affecting how the team fighter game goes, right? Because the
Right,
gold on J4 is pretty much useless, right?
right,
It's not gonna do anything. He's gonna die, right? Olaf's going to be on the opposite side of the map unless he TPs or whatever, right?
right.
That's
The
going to
ultimate
be a
was
whiffed ult. Yeah,
that was a great ultimate like engage tool that was missed by Sejuani.
yeah.
So
So
I'm
now
not
they
sure
kind of
that.
have to back off. They can't stay unless they like still choose to stay. Like they should just reset, buy items, and come back and siege more. But yeah, they're just
That
going
is a
for the
great,
Rick.
yeah,
Yeah. So
an easy
again, the
kill.
gold doesn't matter here because like the gold on red team isn't as effective as gold on the blue team, right? So the Sejuani items are like way more effective. So you can just like cut the J for gold. Like it doesn't mean anything. Same for Olaf if he doesn't join the fight, right? So that goal is just not going to be there. And because Marty is the guy that has the lowest gold on like I think Lanka Lions team probably. It's going to be the same as Morgana maybe. Almost like it's a 2k difference from Morgana, but right. So
Hmm.
I think Lanka Lions ahead
The
without a
highest
doubt.
gold is on Ezreal on like
Yeah.
Alliance.
So like the gold distribution matters, and Caitlyn has a lot of items and a lot of stuff, but it doesn't matter because his team can't peel for her, right? It
And
doesn't matter if she has 5 traps. If her front line dies, she can't do anything, right? Uh,
this stage is the best for Ezreal. He's sitting on four
yeah,
items with the Ludun Zeko completed 11 and 2 and 6.
yeah. So if he hits a WQ, it's going to hurt really bad, right? So it's going to just make it easier for them to siege.
Hmm.
And they're choosing to go for the inhibitor, which could be a throw. Let's be honest, okay? So I'd like if it were me, I'd go for top tier 2 or bot tier 2, right? And just get the map open more and just deny them their jungle and close out the game eventually. But this could be riskier, right? This could work or this could backfire. We don't know. It's a coin flip now. Caitlyn has no traps down, which okay, she has traps down, but they're like back,
But Olaf is
farther
not
back.
getting that flanking position. And Jarvan is going to land that EQ and flash away from the Morgana ult, while the Lanka line's front line is being a pain in the ass for the Caitlyn.
And
Nightmare is going to survive that, picking up a double kill on the Olaf. And
see, it doesn't
Format.
matter
Hmm.
because J4 dies and Sejuani doesn't. That's the main
That was a
thing.
great dark binding, and
Yeah.
the follow up
Follow up
from the
flashes.
Lanka Lions. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was really great to see from Lanka Lions, the synergy they
Yeah.
have, and they're on the same page when it comes to closing the games.
Yeah. So a clean game, kind of a clean game, not really super clean, but okay. They did well. Lanka Lions like planned their stuff, denied them the Baron, and Marty. I don't know if you noticed, but Marty ended up like solo killing the Syndra. He just ulted Syndra, took her into the dark realm, and like ends up solo killing her. Which is like great, like seeing how bad his
Hmm.
living phase was. And that just goes to show how strong a champion Mordekaiser is if he has his items or like certain level thresholds, right? So overall, like red team could have done better again. Like Caitlyn was doing well, Lulu was doing really well, but they end
Hmm.
up like getting caught and making misplays. J4 not going thank you. Like smaller mistakes build up to Lanka Lions winning the game. So I guess
Right.
I'm like 1-0 for the prediction. I don't know if it's going to be a 2-0 though.
It can
I'd
be a
say
duo.
it can be a 2-0, right? If they
Hmm.
still ban Basis stamps, I think it'll be a 2-0.
It will be. They need to
Uh,
snowball that top lane for them to
yeah.
do
I
something in
think
the
if J4
series.
just set top and got a laugh really ahead, it could
Hmm.
have been like a win or something. So I guess
So
we'll like see
game
you
one
guys
goes
in
to
the game too.
game one goes to Lanka Lions. So I was looking at the damage graph, and Israel was the one who dealt the most damage
Yeah,
in the
that's
whole
kind
game.
of obvious, right? Because Akali was really behind, right? Akali wasn't gonna do any
And
damage,
the
and
second highest damage was Olaf. It wasn't anyone else. So yeah.
yeah,
Third, so we will be back for the game three. Stay tuned, and it's going to be the same.
game two,
Mhm.
game two.
Yeah, sorry, game two.
Yeah.
So yeah, please hold on. Bigger B.
You smiled and looked away. Why is Paris so beautiful tonight? You said, not as beautiful as you. And I don't know where I am or what I'm doing here right now. And I don't have any idea who you are. Will you stay with me? Don't leave me alone. Will you stay with me tonight? Don't go. Tell me something I don't know. Raise your arms and part the sea. Teach me how to love myself. Show my heart the way to bleed. And I don't know what I can do about the way I feel right now. I can't bear without you. Will you stay with me? Don't leave me alone.
Okay, guys, we're back with a game two of the knockout series. So this is Lanka Lions versus I don't know the other team's name. I'm really sorry, but so
Bronze
my
Force
co-cast
Smurfs.
is okay. So my co-cast is going to be Tempest. I don't really know him, but
Hello.
yeah. So we'll see a Y band coming out instantly from uh, blue team side, right? And
And then obviously the Darius ban, because why would you leave Darius open to a Darius one trick?
yeah, and we see the two junglers, man. These both two junglers, Acerot has played a lot, right? But let's see if they decide to ban the third jungler as well if they ban Sejuani in this game. Like that's what I'm curious about. Like if they think the jungler is that big a threat, right?
Yep.
Okay, they end up banning
Uh,
Malzahar.
Malzahar ban is very interesting because you don't really see most teams that know how to play against it, or how teams really struggle against Malzahar because he's so
No,
easy to counteract.
normally you just ban Malzahar because you want to play Zoe or Vladimir, and they
Yep.
banned Vlad in response. So they knew about it, right? So they expected them to play Vlad and they banned it. So it's like denying your mid laner's counter pick because they wanted to pick it in the first rotation instead of the second one, and they still end up going for Morgana. So they got the Morgana this time.
So what are the chances that this is a flex pick for Morgana mid? As like a
Uh,
2C strat?
the only time you'd play Morgana mid is if you were against something like a Zoe, right? And I don't think the Lanka Lions mid laner plays Zoe. I think Ash used to, but I don't know if this mid laner does. But we'll see actually. But I don't think it's like it could be flex to mid. And they respond with the Thresh.
And isn't that like counterpicking yourself really hard?
What Thresh? No, not really. The Thresh 2v2, like in terms of solo queue, you could think like it's like a counter pick, but it's not like solo queue, it's organized play. So a Thresh can do a lot more than a Morgana can. Like the Thresh has more value in organized play than a Morgana does. So because if Morgana spell shields, right? Because normally bad Thresh players would engage with their hook, right? So good
Yep.
Thresh players would normally like never do that. Normally the reason to pick Thresh is for the lantern, right? Because you
Yep.
want to like get out of like gangs and stuff you can stand behind. And secondly, versus like good Thresh players would always like start with a flay or like punish a mistake from the enemy bot lane, right? So if they make a
Yep.
mistake,
Definitely.
Morgana spell shield won't save them. Like if they all in on one guy, it just die. It doesn't matter like Morgana spell shield can like dodge one spell or do something. The damage would still be there.
Oh, okay. So both bot lanes are picked. So
Yeah.
tell me about the bot lane matchup here. Caitlyn Morgana versus Sivir Thresh.
So Caitlyn Morgana again a bully lane. Was playing really aggressive. Lulu was even playing. So if that guy was playing that aggressive on Lulu, you can only assume that Morgana is going to be a lot more oppressive, which
Yep.
means so Sivir is like a good way to answer that because Sivir is just like reactive wave player, right? She can just like not give any care about in the world and just wave play, right? They can
Yep.
be
And
completely okay. If they get ganked, Thresh can lantern and walk away, unless they get hit by a bind or something. If they get hit by a bind, it could be trouble for them, right? So normally, it favors the blue side, like Caitlyn Morgana. It's good for them in the early game, but as the game goes on, Civil has like way more value than a Caitlyn, unless like Caitlyn super fight. So for Caitlyn to be good, she has to be either really fed or has like hit 3 items before the AD. Otherwise, like Caitlyn's not good. So like champions like Caitlyn, JS, Cannon, they're only good if they get fed, right? So it's
yep.
like the same case here. Caitlyn has to be fed to do something in this game. Whereas Sever doesn't have to do anything early game. Like it's the same kind of pick in the Ezreal tier, right? They both can like go into mid game, have 2 or 3 items, and then like start being a menace or something.
Definitely. Definitely. These bans are also very interesting because usually in actual pro play you never see a Jax ban ever. So what do you think is the reasoning behind the actual Jax ban?
The Jack span, normally you'd see it because their top laner might be good on it, like at this level of play. Like you can't compare these games to really like pro
I
play,
mean,
especially the
yeah,
draft
definitely
players.
not.
So, but the only reason you'd ban Jax is if you wanted to play something at top that would like hurt Jax or something, right? Or
Yep.
that Jax would be good against, I'm sorry, right? Okay, so end up going for Mordekaiser. And so
Ooh, and
this
they
is
leave.
going to be a Wukong jungle, which is like, it's kind of questionable, right?
Yeah, it's actually very interesting. This pretty much proves that you can't compare these games to actual pro play
Yeah.
because
So
Wukong
it
is
could be a
picking out of.
mod jungle. It could be a mod jungle and Wukong top. I think it's a mod jungle. I'm not sure. Like it could
Uh,
be either.
I mean, I can
Either
definitely
or.
see Mordekaiser and Sion pick because it's a really good lane for Mordekaiser, but Wukong, I think Wukong's gonna get bullied out of that lane himself. after a few
Mhm.
items.
Yeah, after a few items like Wukong, but you won't like pick Wukong to like win your lane, right? You just
Yeah,
pick Wukong
definitely
to
for the team fights.
yeah. For not like with just winning skirmishes. Like if skirmish breaks out on River, Wukong would definitely have the upper hand.
Right.
No, but it's
So
going to be a Wukong jungle and
yes.
on top, right?
So the whole comps are decided for both teams. What do you think of the actual game plan start to finish? So generally speaking, the early game, who has the upper hand in the early game, who should be playing safe, who
So
should be looking more for an aggressive play.
so early game, I think. So the blue team has Caitlyn. Obviously, like they can play a lot more aggressive, but again, both junglers are level 6, right? So both junglers, for them to be good or like be impactful in the game, like really impactful, they need to hit 6, right? And
Yep.
Wukong has like a way weaker clear than a Nocturne does, right? So the Nocturne is going to be a lot more scarier once they hit 6, right? But it kind of depends on how well the Wukong like utilizes his ultimate and how well can he find the ganks, right? So normally, like if the game goes on at, at mid game, red team wins. I think red team always wins mid game.
Yep. Red team definitely because
But if like blue team gets big enough of a lead again, right? They can be like really hard to deal with because Mardy would become really strong at a point. Caitlyn can be a menace, right? But again, the same issue is they pick Caitlyn when they don't have a front line, right? So this Caitlyn is just going to be effective till the laning phase, and if she doesn't win the laning phase, it's not going to matter. Like the Caitlyn pick won't even matter anymore, right? So they kind
pretty.
of need to win the laning phase really hard,
Yep.
otherwise
Pretty
this pick
much.
won't be as effective, right?
Yep, definitely. And then if it does get to mid to late game, you also have Nocturne who can potentially delete three people from blue side, right, with his ultimate, while also denying most of counterplay unless red team plays really well.
So
So let's
Nocturne,
also see how that
when
goes.
when you have a Nocturne, right, in organized play, this means basically you can play like multiple lanes once you're ahead, right? You can
Yep,
like make our Nocturne in the top right side jungle or bot blue side jungle or whatever, right? And you can like play mid or bot or mid or top, like put two people top or three people mid, right? And whoever take if they take a play on either of them, Nocturne can just ult on the opposite side or on the same side, right? And turn that fight, right? So Nocturne's like super good in that situation. But Nocturne's also like a ticking time bomb. Like post 30 minutes, he's also like pretty useless, right? So you kind of
yep,
need to make sure your rest of your team is fed enough that Nocturne like doesn't matter, or the game should be like over by then. So, but I think the Sever and Karma, like their comp overall is like very solid. And if it
yep,
comes to like team fights, I think Karma is really well signed. So this is like it's not even a pick craft, but it's like Nocturne is just there to help them win lanes. And once their items come up, Karma has the items, Sever has the items, they'll become really strong. Whereas on blue team, they have like strong individual champions, which means they all have to be fed or have good items to be effective. As a team comp, they don't really like work that well. Like they don't really have a team comp. You can
yeah, pretty much.
because the
Um,
only reason you'd see a Caitlyn in competitive play, like I think I talked about this like last game as well, is because if you wanted to play like a siege comp or if you want to play objective control, right? So normally the champs you'd see with Caitlyn are something like Victor. So they both have zone control. Like she can lay down traps, Victor can zone, or Oriana even, right? Or like something like Karma. They all have like zoning tools that can zone enemies off of objectives. So they can like secure the objectives and just walk away. And Caitlyn with that range is super good at like sieging turrets down or whatever, right?
yep, certainly.
But again, we don't see any of those traits in this team comp. It's like uh, one all in, one burst, and then Caitlyn's like some damage with headshots, right? And then just the random Mordekaiser. There's no comp. It's just like a solo queue team comp that you'd see in your solo queue game.
Oh yes.
As like the team, it's like more ironed out, and they have like a set win condition. So
So
basically, it will come down to coin flips actually. Like it
yeah,
will depend on if Lanka lines make a lot of mistakes early game, right? Then maybe blue team can win. Otherwise, I think Lanka line will take this game as well. Pretty easily, actually. Not easily, but because that's not fair, right? Because like we don't really know.
and yeah.
Like I've seen bigger upsets, so I don't know. So this time the Wukong has a Conqueror and Domination, a Fleetfoot
Conqueror
Rig.
Wukong. That's actually very interesting. Why do you think he has Conquer over Electrocute when he wants to go for the all in on that pick?
I really don't know. I would have to ask him about that.
Oh yes.
So he might be going for like an off tank build, right? Something like that. I don't think tank Wukong's good, right? I think tank Wukong's like
Yeah, definitely not tank Wukong. I mean, because
yeah,
the champion can't really tank that well, and then you're trading
yeah,
damage as well, which is your main
yeah.
source.
Yeah, I think like if he goes like off tankish maybe with a GA or cleaver, I think it could work, but I don't think it's like
Maybe
it's
with
going to
like
be
an
as
early
effective.
lead.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm at 20.
I'm
Give
at
me 1 second.
I'm paused at 30. I'm paused at 30.
Yeah, I'm paused at 30 as well.
So we can just resume. Yeah, count it down and we can resume.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so we don't really see. I guess we see an invade or like predicting an invade. Maybe they are all like standing in the topside river, expecting invade or looking for invade. I don't know which one it is. They might get a pick on Mordekaiser. So they went for invade in game one and they're going for it in the game two as well.
Yep. So you'll see usually in like at least in higher elo games, which should be translated in these games as well. The early vision control or information game is very important, right? So you
Yeah,
see oftentimes junglers putting vision at raptors at least to try and understand the enemy jungler pathing. What kind of
yeah.
vision control game do you want to see at least early on from either team here, or what kind of priority?
So both the junglers are level 6, right? So early jungle pathing. Do you think the Nocturne can gank without the first recall, right? So it comes down to those kind of things. I don't think like these teams really think about those kind of things. So I don't think it would matter that much. Like even if they see the Nocturne pathing towards some side, right? They wouldn't like always know when he's going to gank. So I don't think it would be that helpful to get that vision. But once the Nocturne hits 6, I think it would be like super good for blue team to ward his camps, right? Like ward his wolves or his raptors, or maybe even
Yep.
his scrubs, right? To make
Yep.
sure you know which quadrant of the map he's on. So the Wukong can always be on the opposite side of the map, right? Because he's not going to win the 2v2 unless he's already like super close proximity to the target Nocturne's going to ult on, right? So it's always be better on the opposite side, and as Nocturne takes a play, you can take your like reactive play on the other side of the map and then just like hope that it goes your way, right? Not hope because you already had the information. So normally in competitive play, it comes down to whichever team had the more information, right? And were more prepared for it. So if you knew the Nocturne is going to ult top, you can always use that information to get something out of it, right? Because your team knows he's going to ult top versus they might not know that Wukong what. Does that make sense, right?
Yep.
So
Definitely.
basically, it'll come down to like a post 6 vision will matter a lot more or tracking Wukong will matter a lot more. Early game, I don't think like Wukong or Nocturne or Wukong are junglers that can gank early game. They could go for a cheese gank, but it would hurt them because they would be just delaying their level 6, right?
Yep.
But it also kind of depends on how bloody the lanes are, right? How bloody or chaotic the lanes are going.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
Caitlyn Morgana could be playing really aggressive, right? And that could mean that Nocturne might have to go bot and like to take some pressure off. And Wukong might have to respond to that, but we don't know. We'll have to actually watch. But the Raptors wars is like pretty standard. But at higher level of play, if you're warding Raptors, I don't know because most enemy teams would know that the Raptors are warded, right?
Yep.
Because they do the same kind of thing. They always know the Raptors are warded. So good players would always like play around that. They'd like take a path where they won't get warded. Okay, it's paused again at 34. Yeah.
They paused. Yes. Also, one thing we haven't really specifically talked about, like we've talked about every other lane. We've talked about the top lane matchup, the jungle matchup, the bot lane matchup, but we haven't really talked about this mid lane matchup between Karma and Syndra.
So there's no way that the Syndra kills the Karma. If Karma is good, I don't think there's no way the Syndra can
Yep.
kill the Karma. Unless she gets like super fed or like a lot of CS lead or whatever, right? Yeah.
Yep. But
Okay. I'm paused at 40.
it's going to be very interesting. Do you think this Karma is going to look to play a more supportive role for Sivir, like
Yeah,
maybe?
she should. She should. Okay. So we see like a flashpoint out already, right? Mod is flash because of their invade. So this is like big for San, which means basically San gets like a lot of free roam, a lot of space at top lane already. And if the gang comes down and Morty wouldn't have flash to get the kill, Wukong might have to invest his flash to get that kill if it comes down to that, obviously.
Yep, certainly.
Already like looking good for Lanka Lions.
Yep. And if you can early gank the Mordekaiser, that's also going to be very good.
Yeah,
If you possibly
because
can incorporate that into your pathing.
yeah. So last game, the Nocturne basically Ace Lord on Sejuani chose not to kill like Krugs or Raptors in his first wave, which is like very surprising.
Yeah, because
So
they Krugs give the most experience, and you should always try to
yeah,
reset your Krugs early.
especially if you're like a level 6 jungler, your aim
Yep.
should be to just hit 6 and take the best possible plays rather than taking point flips, right?
Yep.
So this is like a mistake from blue team side. They're taking different paths. Caitlyn was took the tri bush and Morgana took the bottom path. If they were trying to cheese the right team, they could have gotten something out of it, maybe.
Ooh, so you see, Thresh has actually lost so much HP already.
Yeah. Yeah,
So is
but they
this?
push the lane. Like them pushing the lane basically ensures like they don't get poked or like don't have to take bad trades, right? So they're
Yep.
basically forcing Caitlyn to hit the CS rather than them, which means like they'll be safe from trades unless like Thresh decides to go for engage or something, right?
Yep. So Nocturne is pathing towards top side. Not sure if he's
Oh.
trying to path towards top side for a gank here.
Yeah, well, I was thinking it was going to be like a vertical jungle, but they know he doesn't have a flash, so this might be a setup. But he just gave up the gang. The
Yep.
Saiyan just ends up giving up the gang, and this doesn't
Yeah,
seem it's going to be like.
that's some really poor miscoordination from both of them
Yeah.
right there.
Not just miscoordination, like Mordekaiser read the gank as well because of how San walked up, right?
Yep.
San ended up walking up, and I mean he plays solo. He knows like he's not supposed to walk up like that
Oh
far.
yeah. Top lane.
Yeah,
Top laners know how much junglers love their lane.
yeah,
So that gang actually puts Wukong a bit ahead on the level 6 rush because he gets to clear 2
yeah,
more caps faster.
yeah. It does.
Now Wukong pathing towards top side, and let's see.
But this could be a bad gang because there's a lot of thieves up at top, right? We're
Yep.
now. And while mid and heavy trades happening, like Caitlyn and trading very heavily. So they end up getting nothing out of that, even not Science Slash, right?
Ooh. Okay, so first blood picked up in bot lane here. Very interesting. The
Mm,
Morgana getting punished.
yeah, see that's what I was like talking about. Like it doesn't matter if Morgana has which spell shade. Like if
Yep.
the Thresh hits 2 of his spells on one guy, and like Sever's hitting him, it's most likely going to end up in a kill. It won't matter.
Yep,
Like
very certainly.
the spell shade doesn't matter.
Also, for 1 second, can we really quickly time coordinate it again? That might be
I'm
like
at
a
407. I'm at 410. Oh, yeah,
Alright, 1 second.
yeah,
I
yeah.
will
I'm saying.
pause exactly at 420. Okay? Just let me know when you're at
Okay,
420.
okay. I'm paused at 420.
Alright, let's resume.
Yeah, I'm there. Resume.
Alright.
Okay.
Right, so other one almost gets the solo kill in mid lane here, even though Karma still has her exhaust up and flash.
Yeah. So
And
I
the
think
Nocturne
Karma's
is
like
running
to
around.
train like heavily or something, which means like Syndra has a lot more earlier damage than Karma. Karma's not
Yep.
like supposed to engage in trades. He's just supposed to CS, clear the lane, get vision, and like walk away, right? Like it would be like very rare for the Karma, and Karma can just go treads here. I think like Karma can just go treads or even Chalice if she wants to go for Unholy Grail Ardent, right? Depends on what she's trying to build. None of it see Ludens though. Yeah, she ends up going for the Chalice. So the Chalice plus treads would mean the Syndra won't be able to kill him or kill her.
Ooh.
And even if like Wukong's there, it would be like very hard. They'll have to commit both their ults to kill Karma.
And Nocturne here looks to gank bot lane, but he's caught up by the blue side ward, which is
Yeah.
proper good ward. And what's really interesting to me about this matchup is if you look at PnX Lanka's inventories, 3 of their members actually have stopwatch as compared to 1 member on Bronze vs Smurfs' side.
Yeah.
So Stopwatch is very important, and at least PnX understands that.
Stopwatches can basically like turn a skirmish in your favor, right? So it's kind
Yep,
of yeah, it's kind of important. So they can get them advantage in like a dragon fight or a siege, right? And it would completely turn the thing. So yeah, like the little things matter a lot. Like people think they don't, but even like the smallest things, like yeah, the way you click and the way you position in general, right? They matter a lot more.
certainly. So it's actually very unfortunate that the Nocturne pathed so inefficiently because by now he could have probably cleared all of his blue side and then started transitioning to his red side, which would have
Yeah.
given him a very fast level 6.
Yeah, he'd be 6 by 7 minutes or something, right? And then he'd get to pick his first gang, right? You'd have the
Yep,
advantage of making the first play happen. And if you make the first play happen, there are pressures on the other team to do something, right? That means you get like dibs on dragon and whatever you want to do. If you want vision, you want general control. It's your call after that. So when
certainly.
now kind of they'll hit six around the same time. Maybe Wukong might even hit six before him. But it would come down to like which team set up the play first, or if someone one lane doesn't have sums, like Morgana doesn't have sums, Caitlyn doesn't have heal, so their bot lane is like relatively weak right now. So we'll see actually. We don't know.
It's also very interesting to me. I'm very curious as to what kind of build this Nocturne is going to go because usually, at least in solo queue, you see whenever Nocturne takes lethal tempo, you see either he's going for early skirmishes or he's going a more tankier build than usually. So I'm
So
quite curious
when you play
as to
assassins and organized play, right? So there are like there's like a thumb rule. So if you're fed, you'll start with like a damage item and just go off tank, right? So, but in this case, let's say Nocturne doesn't get a lot of kills, but his team's getting ahead, right? So what Nocturne can do, he can get like a Dust Flare or something, or a Cleaver, maybe, right? And just transition into GA. So his goal
yep,
would be to engage or like start the thing and then just stay alive or like buy time, right? Buy space. So normally when you see, um, okay,
and pause at 6 minutes.
okay. So basically, when you see champs like Nocturne, they only have like two routes, right? So they can either go full damage, which is only if he's really fed, and that's like a really bad approach. If you're fed, like if you notice very good players, like if you watch like Korean Cylinder or even US Cylinder, right? So if you watch your Evelyn or someone like Ha get really fed, or something like Rengar, you'll notice that they in Challenger, like I'm talking about like top 50, top 60 Cylinder, like and we're not even
Yeah,
talking master or grandmaster, right? So very good players would always, if they get fed, would build like defensive items after building their first damage item. So if the Rengar had a bigger lead in a challenger game versus like your random solo QMR or whatever, right? He'd go something like Cleaver into a defensive item, like a Stax Gauge, GA, or even like a Deadman sometimes. He'd just go off tank, right? Because defensive stats like give you more. Like you can take more riskier plays and get away with them rather than like building damage or whatever, right?
yep,
So
certainly.
so in team play, it's like kind of the same approach. If you're ahead and you're not supposed to be like the main DPS source, so either your team starts to funnel gold into you, so you do the early game DPS, and while the other teammates catch up, or you just start like building defensive, buying more space and time for your team by applying pressure because of the stats you have from the lead you got, right?
Yep.
So that's like a way of looking at it.
Also, it looks like Lanka is going to pick up a free Drake here, completely
Yeah,
uncontested because they don't expect the proper resets and rotations, and they also have
yeah.
no vision of it. Mid
So
also
they
gets
knew their
shut
bot
down.
lane was yeah, yeah, but the ocean's going to regen them up, and the Thresh already like started apart, and we see Karma like being really aggressive versus the
Yep,
Syndra playing a lot of
she's
pressure.
definitely wanting to poke in out of lane.
So Ocean Drake's really good if you get it like pre 10 minutes, right? So this completely turns how the mid lane's going to be played, how the bot lane is going to be played, because now they're gonna have a lot more sustain.
Yep, certainly. And you see top lane taking so many of these little fights, skirmishes,
Yeah,
and it's going to be really good for the Sion. Also, you can see the Karma picked up a Chalice of Harmony, which does mean she's going to go for a more supportive build for Sivir, which is really good.
yeah. Not just Sever, like she can buff Nocturne and it will be just as good, right?
Yep,
Like
certainly.
she can use that Nocturne and because right now Nocturne's going damage, right? So she can have the unholy kill. It's like
Ooh,
super good utility
Nocturne,
for your team.
level 6, looking for a top lane gang right here.
Yeah,
Ooh, Mordekaiser ult actually gets cancelled by a really beautiful Sion ult, using the
yeah.
Unstoppable right there.
So again, like that's like his Swart's a good gang, and they probably know like at this like Lanka Lions is a good enough team to like they track wards or something. They probably knew like they were in spot knocked on the topside river and there was no vision, so they end up going for the play and getting away with it
Yep.
and getting a free kill out of it.
And looks like a bot lane is going hard engage here. The spell shade actually blocks both of Thresh's summoner spell or
Yeah,
abilities here. And ooh, unfortunately the Sivir flashes quite poorly and then gets hit
yeah,
by the binding as well. Ooh, that's a mechanical misplay right there.
yeah. So they end up like messing up mechanically, and the Caitlyn just gets a return kill based off of their mistakes.
Yep. Good
Not
idea there, but poor execution. Very unfortunate.
like they could have waited when Thresh had six because I doubt he was like super far. He would have hit six on this wave, right? And then they could have went in with the box, like Thresh's ult, and they'd have higher odds of getting away with a play like this. But they decide to commit and like that make a mistake, and Caitlyn just ends up getting a free kill. They'll lose a wave and they'll probably lose a plate because of it. I guess not. They choose not to go for the plate. They take the better recall.
Ooh, Nocturne's looking to ping top lane again. They might go for a return gank here, even though Mordekaiser still has his flash.
Yeah.
Yep, Yep. And Mordekaiser's fighting quite poorly here, with no ult. So I feel like this should be a unmissable kill. Oh, no, never mind. They get the flash. Unfortunately, Sion mispositioned his Q.
Yeah. It's kind of.
Yeah.
So
It's just,
Nocturne's making a mistake. He has gold for his warrior, right? And he hasn't recalled yet. And
Yep.
Wukong's not even going looking for a play, right? He's just looking to farm up, which is surprising because if Wukong doesn't get a lead, he's not going to do anything in the game, right?
Yep. You
Wukong
definitely
kind of,
don't want to be holding gold at this point,
yeah,
especially as an assassin jungler.
yeah.
So stopwatches are up now, something very important to keep in mind. It'll help in dives and actual and small fights.
Yeah, but the only neutral objective up on map is Herald, and I think like red team's top side is strong enough to like contest it.
Yep.
Their
Ooh,
bot lane would have to
Wukong
do.
goes for flash ult here. Nocturne's there to counteract it though. 1 for 1 right there. Both laners go down. Both the
Yeah, but
junglers were fortunately there.
Syndra might end up losing more because that's a huge wave and she doesn't have a TP, right? So it
Yep.
actually because Karma can be 0-4 and have those utility items and still be more effective, right?
Yep, certainly.
Like she's more like gold efficient. So Syndra losing that wave hurts her a lot more than Karma just dying there. So the 1-for-1 is kind of actually worth more for the Lanka Lions than
And you can see the item difference here as well. Karma has her Unholy Girl completed, so that's going to
yeah.
make the 2v2s with Nocturne so much stronger.
Yeah, not just the 2v2s, like any next for skirmish on river or whatever, any objective they try to see, or even the bot turret, right? There, she'll be a lot stronger generally.
So with this lead, I think it's very possible for red side to, if Karma can poke Syndra out of lane, it's very possible to contest this Herald. But they have to execute it very well. Because, so, Lux, tell me, is it
Yeah.
very good if you prioritize Herald right after it spawns
Why?
before plates go
Okay.
down? Like, when should you prioritize
Yeah,
Herald?
actually, for this team comp, it's good because what would happen is like Nocturne can get the Herald, right? And he can give the solo. He can either take the solo goal to accelerate his own lead, right? Or he can give it to like Karma, so she gets her Ardent faster. The faster she gets her second item, the faster their team comps come online, right? So in this case, it's good, right? But for them to get Herald, like they'd need to know if Wukong's bot, right? So if right now the new Wukong's bot and Nocturne was topside, this was a free Herald.
Yep.
So it kind of depends on team how they approach it and play it.
And Wukong looks to be ganking bot lane here with his ult. Ult goes out. The server falls here, and actually both the bot laners die here. This should
Yeah.
be a pretty free cloud
Yeah,
break.
but see, like this is what I'm talking about. You just saw Wukong gank bot, your botman died, and I don't know why they're trying to contest Dragon. Nocturne could have been already at Herald by now, right?
Yep.
He could have been at Herald, and he'd be doing it. And he could just given up the solo gold and end up just. Now see, he wastes his ult and they get a pick. They might go all in here. Okay.
Never mind. He never used his
Yeah.
ult that way for the
Yeah.
Syndra. And yeah,
And
there's a
that's
stopwatch right there. That's very helpful. Mordekaiser TP is down, however, and Nocturne might go down here. Yes, Nocturne goes down. And Death Realm comes in. Karma has no summoners here. She should be 100% dead to Mordekaiser.
I don't know that.
Thresh walking in for the lantern for no reason. This might be the end of Thresh as well. Caitlyn backs out, goes bot lane though for some reason while Mordekaiser in a fight. And another red side TP coming in from Sion, who still has his ult and his flash. Can Sion get the proper engagement with his ult? Caitlyn sidesteps the ult. However, Caitlyn is dead, and then the Sion ult goes on to Mordekaiser, who is also dead now. So this could lead up to potential first bot lane tower, or they will either prioritize Drake, which I think they should prioritize the tower.
Yeah, they can get free plates off of it, right? So this was like segmented play, like a lot of late TPs coming in and like a force thing.
Yep.
And it all started with the Nocturne going for the Syndra and just ulting in and going for the play. Nocturne ends up getting really far, but again, this was a coin flip. It could have not like went their way. So normally the best play would always be to take Herald there, then just use that Herald to like build another lead, right? But
Yep.
just ends up working for them, so they're probably not complaining, right?
No, I mean Herald is the guaranteed play there. You know,
Yeah.
there's you lose
But now
nothing potentially.
because they won this, now the bot lane can go top, and now they're gonna get the Herald 100% because
Okay.
Nocturne really fight they have that lead at mid lane, and now the bot lane has to say bot. They can lane swap right now. They're choosing not to lane swap, which is
That's-
like mildly interesting. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
like
very
that's like a
interesting.
100% lane swap there. Like I
Yep.
you'd always lane swap if
Because
yeah.
Sivir and Thresh should be able to bully out the Mordekaiser from lane, because there's potentially no way Mordekaiser can ult Sivir with her spell shield up.
So the only reason they choose to stay bot is because they want to like take this air drake really bad, right? They're prioritizing the air drake over the Herald because they might think this is good for their comp or like good for their comp, so they wanted to deny them, or they want to like get more picks by like baiting them into taking the dragon, and so they can just get picks.
So actually tell me the uses of Air Drake here. Like how much can Air Drake benefit red side here, and why
Okay,
are they
so
prioritizing it?
okay, so you can always look at drakes in terms of gold, right? So air drake gives you like tier one boots, one air drake, right? Tier one boots, and like 10, I think 20% of mobis, right? If I'm not wrong, 20 or 25% of mobis, right? So you can say it's like 600 gold. So your whole team is getting 600 gold comparatively to versus like a fire drake. So fire drake, if you had like if you get like 10 or 20 ED, that's like 350 gold, but that ED is going to scale as you build more items, right? So fire drakes that's why is like a lot more valuable, right? And like ocean drake is like the most versus because it's like 100 gold. It gives you 100 gold, and it only gives you that 100 gold if you're low. If that makes
Ooh,
sense, right?
they try to go for the Herald play here, but
Yeah.
unfortunately Cinder gets caught out with the Nocturne ult,
Yeah.
and Mordekaiser gets hooked. He might be pulled back in, and that's a free Herald for red team. Because blue team just makes a poor decision there. They know the red team has Cloud Drake and they have Nocturne ult, and they're rotating up, especially with Sivir ult still up.
True.
So that's just a poor map decision by them.
So again, air drake is like super good for them because again the free gold, like you can count in terms of gold. But for, if you look at the comp, like Nocturne has a ult range, right? So he'd be able to move in and out of different ranges of people, right, or whatever. And Sivir get likes utility, Karma likes utility. So their team like wants that movement speed. It also like helps them get away from Wukong and stuff like Mordekaiser. So it's like really good for them. A very aggressive
Oh, the
flash coming in.
Wukong.
Yeah.
The Wukong tries to bait for his clone, but unfortunately gets
Yeah,
caught.
I do that.
So that's actually very interesting because the Wukong actually gets the Nocturne shut
Yeah.
down. And see, the Wukong burns his flash, but he also burns Sivir's flash, which I guess Wukong's flash in this scenario at least is much more valuable because he has to get the flash engaged out of nowhere.
Yeah, because when like the red team starts a siege, they're not gonna let Wukong walk in if they see him. He'd have to like flash engage for it to work, right? And Nocturne has a GA already, which means they're looking for a big play soon. Like they have the Herald and the GA, which means they're going to commit to a fight and probably get two turrets and a lot of map control off of it. So we might just see a Herald mid and a Force play, and we might see Cyan walk mid, and they might just try to see it. We don't know, but okay, let's see. They're like
Actually-
waiting for like enemy team to show up on the map and see where everyone is.
It's actually very interesting considering the possibility of Mordekaiser just being able to ult the Scion out of the fight, and then red team has no main tank.
They don't
For a few
need
seconds.
only they won't need a tank because Karma and Thresh would be enough wheel for Sivir to stay alive and her ult, right? They can because it's not like a Lulu, right? Where she has to be in a safe spot or if she gets hit by a CT she can't do anything. Whereas Thresh and Karma are like super effective, right? If they just walk in the same direction, normally Sivir would always live.
So red team taking control of the blue side jungle here. It's very important actually when you're in the lead, taking control of the jungle camps.
Yeah. But it kind of depends. Like I don't think like the red jungle for blue team is as valuable for the red team. Like it's better if they like try to get the top tier one and mid
Yep.
tier one, so they'd have more Baron control later on, which would help them like take the Baron down faster or like easier. And they're just like putting Syndra bot versus
Yeah,
Cyan
it's a
is like a
very odd
mistake.
rotation. I was about to say Mordekaiser should be bot lane here, and Cinder
Yeah.
should be moving mid or top to contest where
Yeah,
Karma is
Syndra.
going.
Normally, you want to like put your mid laner near the lane blue buff is in, right? So she can stay top, and you can just keep giving her blue buffs. So she can basically really fast and like get to mid, right? And that's normally like the ideal play there. But Syndra playing bot lane is like really weird, right? That means they're just giving up this top tier one. There's no one going to be a top to defend this tier one, and they'll just have to give this up. By the time like Mod gets there, he might die, or the tower might die. I mean, or they might even get the pick on Mordekaiser.
Certainly. So the Vision game is actually so different for both teams here, with
Yeah.
red team having such a stronger Vision game.
Yeah, they have a
Like,
lot more control.
yep, and Wukong actually just bought his sweeper, which is very interesting considering he's playing Wukong and he wants to have that proper engage from out of vision.
Yeah, because if they see it coming, it's not going to work. So you need to
Yep.
like have
And
some vision
Wukong's
control.
also going towards Black Cleaver here over something like Yumu's or Duskblade, which is interesting because he's going for a more tankier build from behind.
Yeah.
So, would you say the full 80 build for Wukong would be significantly better here? Because
Yeah,
I
it
think
would
it's
be.
very important.
It
Yeah,
would be because the coin flip would be better because he could kill the Severe or even the Karma, and it would completely change the fight.
Yep. There's a fight engaging top side here. Wukong goes in, gets the Thresh, gets the Nocturne, gets the 3-man knock up. Unfortunately, do they have enough damage? No, they don't have enough damage. They get turned around
because-
on here. Mordekaiser brings in Karma. The other two are zoned from both teams, so it's all up to Mordekaiser to actually kill Karma through her shields now. It's a beautiful Thresh hook, which completely zones out Mordekaiser off of Karma. She ultimately does get picked up, and Mordekaiser has to flash out to not die to red side. So, all in all, a 1-for-0 trade in favor of
Yeah.
blue side.
Not just 1-for-0. Severe got 2 turrets at mid lane, right?
Oh,
Severe
yeah.
got the
definitely.
tier 1 and tier 2. So
Yeah.
the red team ends up winning, kind of.
Ooh, and then Sarah's getting the return kill as well.
Yeah.
The double stopwatch there. Yep.
Yep.
So it's actually so much better for red team now. Oh, no, Caitlyn comes in, along with Wukong. They're trying to get the cleanup here. So,
But it doesn't matter because red team's still getting the turrets, right? Nocturne got the
Yep.
top tier 1.
Science
Severe got
getting-
2 turrets in mid.
yep, Science getting bot lane.
Yeah. And that basically means that's just like more map control for the red team to get the Baron, right? Because it's already like harder for blue team without the mid tier 1 and top tier 1 to like control Baron. And now with red team getting into their blue jungle because they have no turrets at mid, it's like going to be like exponentially harder for them to be able to contest Baron if the red team like chooses to commit
Yep.
on the Baron or whatever, right?
So this game seems significantly heavier in favor for red team. What do you think red team's plan should be here to like try and close out the game significantly faster?
So the red team basically they need to get a vision of their blue side jungle, bait them into thinking we're doing Baron, get 2 picks, do Baron, and just like decide how they want to end the game. Right? That should be the standard play. And the only way blue team can respond is they can pressure like mid lane and trying to take mid tier 1, tier 2 if they decide to go for Baron. So they have to walk back and wave clear. If they commit for Baron, they can go from their side of the jungle and like look for a 50-50 steal or just a fight, right? So that's all like the both teams could do about right now. Unless someone makes a mistake, gets caught, gets a pick, and or two
Oh.
like that 2 players from the red team could get picked, and it would mean a Baron for blue team, right? So it's kind of depends on what the teams
Ooh,
how they're
Syndra's
doing.
really out of position here. She's gonna get caught
Yeah.
up by the Thresh. Yep, and the Nocturnal is there to ensure the kill. However, she has Flash. So they force the Syndra Flash without using any big cooldowns, which is very good for red team because Syndra has to either forcibly use her stopwatch now in the next fight or die to Nocturne. So now they're moving towards Baron side to get control of Baron side. They might be able to force a fight here. Thresh is standing by the wall looking for a pick. Karma's trying to bait up for the ward. Yep, and Thresh gets the hook on Morgana. Are they going to go in on this? Yep. So Wukong's going for the big engage. Wow, the Wukong ult is huge. 4-man knock up. Scion trying to engage. but the damage is already done. Wukong has pretty much screwed up red team here with actually such a perfect engage. So
Yeah, because
yes,
they've decided to like fight on a choke point where their goal should have been just to get a pick and walk off, not engage into a full fight. And this is the mistake I was talking about. The red team end up making the mistake, and
yep.
then they're probably going to end up paying for it with a Baron.
So Sion's teleporting right behind for a big flank, which Sion can tank this very hard. This could potentially be really bad for blue team if the other members
Yeah,
rotate
Sam can
properly.
just clean up.
Oh wow, Sion's getting chunked really hard actually. He's gonna go golden, but he's just gonna fall right here. There's nothing Thresh and Nocturne can do. So
And we see
Sion
the
actually
red
gets
team.
one in his passive.
Yeah.
But based on the resets now, I think this can't be a Baron for red team because both of their tanks are down. So nothing really happens here. In
True.
fact, it's actually a really good play for blue team because this kind of
They
equalizes the gold.
they kind of got a lot off of that. They're like getting more items, and this is basically like making the game riskier by the minute for the red team. Because
Yep.
if they don't do something very soon, it's going to like change the game. Might change the game completely actually, because Caitlyn is going to be a lot stronger based on if you look at Siver's item. She decided to go for a GA instead of an Infinity Edge, whereas Caitlyn has a standard 80 items, right? So if they get a good fight again like that, where they're on a choke point and Wukong hits a ult, it might just like they might just get Baron and like get an inhibitor off of it and change the game completely, right?
Yep, certainly. And Mordekaiser is also going to be scaling up, so he's also going to be becoming a teamfight monster.
Yeah.
If Wukong and Mordekaiser can go hard together, it's actually going to be very difficult for Red Team to come back from that. And what's also surprising for me is no one on Red Team actually has a QSS to try and negate the Mordekaiser ult off them.
Mm.
Even though Sivir has her spell shield, there's only so much you can spell shield, right? In a team fight, when you have someone like Syndra, when you have
Yeah,
someone like Morgana.
the spell shield's not going to matter as much. Yeah, like the best case would be just dodging a Syndra or Caitlyn ult, right?
Yep.
Or maybe if you're like super good on reaction times, maybe you can see the mod hand rise up and dodges ult with a spell shield.
Yep. So Sion pushes in bot side. He's looking to rotate up top side. Sion could actually potentially ult this and look for the engage since Mordekaiser has no TP. But for now, they're just playing it
So
safe and getting Witch
this
in.
is the part of the game where like Lanka line is lost and they're like running off like with their chickens with their head cut off, right? Because Karma should be just picking up CS. Like she's still a mid laner, right? She's playing the game like she's a
Yep.
support, and she's down to 126 CS, and she doesn't even have a complete loot in the 25 minutes. Even though she should be on 3 items right now, like 7, right?
Yep.
So that just means like either the tilt setting in or they're like kind of getting spaced out or something, right? So they're starting to make mistakes, and it's kind of starting to show now, right?
Yep.
Because
Certainly.
Karma hasn't picked any CS in like the last 8 minutes or something. So which means Karma is getting weaker by the minute, and Caitlyn's picking up items. Morgana's getting really strong. Wukong's getting really strong. So this might just like the game
Yeah,
might just end
the
completely.
Wukong card is actually really massive considering
Yeah,
his flash is also coming up really soon.
yeah.
And so
So
we have Math and Drake spawning here, which either team, it's really big for either team to get this Math and Drake. Like both teams definitely want to contest this because it pulls up so much Baron threat.
yeah, for blue team, it's kind of more important because they don't want the red team to have this dragon because it would just mean like they could do a distraction on the other side of the map and get away with doing Baron if they have the mountain, right? So it's like puts more pressure on them if the red team gets it, right? So their goal should be to deny it or like just go mid and go for a play.
So they're collapsing on Mordekaiser here. Mordekaiser goes hard on Thresh, gets the Thresh in his ult. Thresh should probably go down here. He's trying to stall as much as he can. Mordekaiser actually burns his flash for Thresh. Thresh also flashing. Nocturne ults, trying to look for a pick. Sivir ults as well. So Nocturne goes hard on Morgana here, who still has her Zhonya's. Yep, Morgana ults and uses Zhonya's. 2 for 0 right now in favor of blue team. Syndra actually gets zoned out by Sivir here, and she's gonna fall. Sion dies in the main line, but Syndra fell in the back line, so it's actually a 3 for 1. The fight continues, and red team's picking up more kills by the second. Wukong has, for some reason, disappeared from the fight, but it's actually a 3 for 4 in favor of red team, who can also get this Drake now. So
Yeah, they can get this trick, but it's like they don't really get much off of it, right? Their goal should be to end the game because the blue team scales really well as well, right?
yep.
Because the Mordekaiser is going to be a threat, the Cinder is going to become a threat,
So
and
for
Wukong just
some,
ends. Yeah,
yeah, Wukong. I guess he's trying to stall. Sivir should
yeah,
not have
but
chased him there. They should have just done Drake.
Yeah, but like even chasing him, I don't know. It's like a 40-second timer, right? So he messed up. They should have just went Baron. Wukong just gave him a free Baron, and they're choosing to kill the Mountain Drake. They're like delaying their Baron. Now that blue team is going to be able to respond. So that was
Yep.
actually a mistake from Wukong because if that timer was so big, they could have just went Baron, took it, and just like given them the Mountain Drake and the game. They could like turn the game completely here, and they're
Yep.
not. They don't
So
recognize this play. Now the blue team can answer it, or they can be in position to answer it. Now
yep.
it might still be a free Baron though. We don't know.
So, although let's talk a bit more about that fight because initially that fight looked very heavily in favor of blue team, but as the fight got longer and extended more, red team
Yeah.
actually won that fight.
Because Karma Saver like deal a lot more damage over time and takes a while to kill Sam, right? It
Yep,
took like Caitlyn almost 20, 22 seconds to kill that Sam, right? And in that
yep.
time, Saver just does a lot more. And
So
the Karma,
Baron fight starts here. Sign goes hard in the engage. Mordekaiser is nowhere in position. The Morgana ult is out. Unfortunately, she Zhonya's before she ults. Wukong goes in, gets the GA, gets one kill, but he's gonna get popped here pretty much. Forces Sivir to back off. Mordekaiser's going hard, gets the ult on Sivir. He should be able to kill Sivir in his death realm. Unfortunately, he has to back off here. Nope, actually his team is there to back him up. Sivir should be dying really hard here. She's going to spawn in the Caitlyn trap. That should be a free Baron for blue team. So red
yeah,
team is
no,
actually misplaying so hard by not considering the Wukong threat.
yeah. Not just a Wukong threat, and just like fighting over and over again in choke points where Caitlyn has the range advantage and she can just put down traps and do a lot, right? They're not utilizing their Nocturne, like they're not playing side lanes and using their Nocturne to just
Yep.
get picks.
Wait, so Sion's TPing right into the Baron pit here. This could potentially
Yeah.
be really bad for Sion, but
No,
unfortunately
they're
blue team
super
does
low.
not have the HP for this, so they have to
Yeah,
back off right now. So that's a very good TP. They're actually going to turn on the Baron because it's at half HP, and they
yeah.
know blue team has the reset here before the fight. Red team also has the Cloud Drake, which should help them get through the fight faster.
Yep.
For now, Sion's just tanking up as much damage as he can, trying to
Yeah,
ensure the
because he's
Baron.
forcing them to take a bad fight. So this is like really smart by San and the red team. They want them to fight because they know they can't win right now. And Carmen just walks up and do a lot of
Karma is
damage.
taking so much damage. She's almost dead, in fact. Nocturne goes hard on Syndra, wastes her flash. Again, Wukong gets the pick here. They're not respecting the Wukong's positioning. He might get two if Thresh stays close. Nope, the Sivir ult helps the Thresh get out. This should be a really good turn fight for red team. For some reason, they back off, though, even though Sivir had her ult up and they had massive advantage to fight that.
And the
Now they're
blue team is
losing.
just stronger. Like they're
Yeah,
just
the blue
stronger.
team.
I don't know how.
They, no, it's not even that they're stronger. It's this
Yeah.
red team isn't team fighting
Making
properly at all
mistakes.
here.
Yeah. They don't see the Wukong coming and they're fighting in like areas where Wukong can sneak in and get picks, right? So it's
Yep.
like kind of playing against them, and Wukong's getting away with a lot of picks and stuff he
And then
normally shouldn't be able to. But
especially in actual fights, red team at very odd moments just decides to not go in when it's actually a really proper time for them to go in.
yeah, not just that, they kind of split apart, right? They don't have like
Yep.
good target calling. They're not like
They're
going on one
yep.
target, not looking for picks. Just trying to win the fight. I don't know why. They can
Yep.
just take one pick and ensure they get Baron or like win the next fight, but rather they just commit spread, and then the Wukong comes in and all turns around, right? And what's happening is Caitlyn's getting big and big by the moment, and there's gonna come a time where Caitlyn's going to start like two-shotting people, right? And
Yep.
then decides to go for a spear of Shodan. That's
Ooh.
like really weird because I
Yeah, I
don't
mean
think he would have enough damage
I've seen
to.
some Nocturne builds for Spear of Shojin. I guess he just wants to be his. You can see his G is about to come back up as well, so maybe he just wants to be a really heavy backline nuisance with his constant Q and E. But I don't
Yeah,
think Spear of Shojin is
the
at
vice
all a good
versa.
item here because he just wants to one
Yeah.
shot the Caitlyn.
Yeah, he's not going to live long enough to be that impactful, right? If
Yep.
he goes on the Caitlyn and the blue team's all there and the Wukong's on his team won't be able to help him and he'd end up just dying.
Also, interestingly enough, Sign picks up a Tiamat here. He's going to build it into Titanic, so it
Yeah,
seems like
that's
he's
smart.
looking for
That's
more
actually
of
smart.
a. Yeah,
Because the red teams now realizes that the Baron fight's not working, so we kind of need to like split them
yeah.
and pick
Ooh.
them apart and just going for the Baron. They're like, we
Yeah,
want
Sign,
this.
Sign's
Go
split
for it.
pushing bot lane with no teleport, and they have this intel
Yeah.
because they just saw Sign teleport in. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
Mordekaiser is tanking Baron very poorly. This might actually be really bad. First gets the
So
hook, but both it forces both teams to just disengage from Baron.
this is what like most games like boil down to. Like no one's farming, no one's looking to get more items. They're just like trying to fight. Let's
Yep.
fight, Let's just fight and I don't know. It's like
Ooh.
kind of weird. It's like a ARAM.
So unfortunately, the game pauses here at a very
Yeah.
awkward moment, but Syndra actually gets that three-man stun. If
Yeah.
Wukong can actually go in on this and get his ult knock up, this
This
might
might be a
actually be a
Baron.
huge.
This might be a
Yeah.
Baron on a lot of turrets and eventually inhibitor.
Yep. Ooh, so Nocturne ults
Ooh.
here. Nocturne goes in on the main Wukong right there. Syndra's caught out as well. So is Caitlyn. Gets hit by the exhaust. Karma roots her. They have the Sivir ult. Can Karma kill this Caitlyn by herself? Nope. Karma's getting absolutely demolished. She has to back off. They get the pick on Syndra. They have Mountain Drake. This could potentially be a Baron right now.
No, this is a Baron. This is a Baron. This is probably also, I think, game. This might be game
Let's
because
see.
because
Yeah.
I don't think they have the like wave clear tools to deal with the Baron seeds.
So blue team's trying to move towards Baron, seeing if they can do something here, but
Mm.
maybe they can utilize Caitlyn's range a bit, because some of the members from red team are actually kind of missing a lot of HP. But this Baron should go down.
Yeah, and
They turn
Marty's
on the Mordekaiser. Yep, Mordekaiser gets his ult out on the Sivir though. He has Flash to go hard on the Sivir. Can he get the pick on Sivir? Yes, he has his stopwatch. Baron still really low HP, 1.2k, is about to go down. Red team secures Baron, Sivir kills the Mordekaiser, and then it's all about the cleanup, and this should pretty much be game right after that.
yeah. Like I said, this should be game because they had the numbers and they were going to get Baron anyway, right?
Interestingly
So
enough, Sion's actually recalling, and he doesn't even have ult or teleport to get back into the fight fast enough. It seems like red team's going for the safer play. Wukong flashes and ult, gets the kill on Sivir. Nocturne uses his ult, but Wukong should pull the Nocturne now. Ooh, he actually managed to get the GA of Nocturne before going down, and Wukong might get out
yeah,
of here.
that's
Nope, the minions are OP, I guess.
yeah.
So,
Many is that way this ends up killing him.
yep.
So again, a lot of stuff happening. A super chaotic game. People just going for like Baron dances and plays over and over again rather than just trying to like play it to their strengths or win conditions. So again, it ends up working out for Lanka Lions again. Blue team's inexperience is showing here, right? So
Also, the third Ocean Drake picked up by red team here. That's going to be so good
yeah.
for skirmishes and fights.
Not
So,
just skirmishes, for sieging as well. For
Yep.
sieging.
Also, you mentioned win conditions here. Let's actually talk about what win conditions are for both of these teams right here.
Okay, so if this was a pro game and like the right side was a pro team, what they would be doing, right? They would be uh, keeping three people mid, like Karma, Thresh, and Sivir mid, and San would be bot, right? And Nocturne would hover in the right side jungle. And they'd see if they take a play. If they don't, what will happen is eventually they'd lose vision for a moment, and Thresh or someone would roam bot, and they just pick the guy at bot, or the same thing would happen if San would roam mid, and they'd pick the guy at mid, right? And just like get siege off of that. Like they'd get more control. They're not utilizing their like Nocturne pick or whatever, right?
Yep, certainly.
Whereas the blue team's goal is to like group them, make them come through a choke point, so the Syndra E can hit or the Wukong ult can hit, and Caitlyn can just finish them off, right? So like there's that.
Yep,
So for the
certainly.
red team to win, the blue team needs to split. For blue team to win, the red team needs to group. So it's kind of who forces who to do what, right? So it's
Yep,
kind of like
that's
what decisions you take and what happens after
yep,
that.
that's the mind game right there, forcing your
Yeah.
opponent to do what you need.
Yep.
It's
So
actually
forcing
very
is like
interesting.
super important. Yeah. No, most people like don't even get it. Like forcing is super important. Like forcing
Yep.
your opponents to make a decision, like making them pick from two bad choices, is like a skill like you need to develop if you want to like go up in league or be
So
really good at the game.
they're doing the 1-3-1 here. Wukong actually gets seen by the ward as he's trying to come for the flank. Red team should back off here really hard.
Yeah.
Yep, red team backs off really properly with Sivir ult. Sion's moving towards mid side, hopefully to intervene in the fight. Nocturne's coming in with his ult as well. Nocturne ult goes down. Nocturne decides to go on the Morgana, who still has her Sonya's. Redemption's down. Mordekaiser still has his ult. Mordekaiser uses Sonya's. He's going to die really soon though. Nocturne falls down to the Caitlyn trap and Morgana binding. Mordekaiser has Karma in his ult. Unfortunately, he goes down. So red team has the numbers advantage here, or not the numbers
Yeah.
advantage, but they're going to have to
So
force.
what they just did now, they could have done like 10 minutes ago, and it would work just the same. Like
Yep.
the 1-3-1 was good because they win because of numbers advantage, right? They can like make them
Ooh.
force a play and answer it.
So
And
there
that's a free
goes the
pick for a
numbers
Syndra.
advantage right there, and again, red team is forced to retreat from mid lane. Bot lane
Yeah.
are going to go down here to the unkillable
Um,
Sion here.
Not unkillable. I think it died if it stayed for like
I
4
mean,
more
yeah, he
seconds.
definitely would have died, but well, that's where you can really see the Wukong's Conqueror shining.
Yeah. So now we're gonna have to wait for like I think 5 more minutes for the next Baron to spawn because I don't think this game is going to end.
I
I don't
mean,
think this
Elden
game's
Ring is
going to.
spawning as well soonish. Not soonish, but in a few minutes. So it's all up to those two
So
objectives.
if the blue team like really needs to design the elder. If they don't, like the
Oh
three
yeah.
oceans plus that's huge, right? So, but if the blue team gets elder, it's like super good for them as well. Marty benefits a lot. Caitlyn, it's all. I mean, elder is good in general for everyone, right?
Oh
So,
yeah.
so for blue team, it's a lot more important because they need to win the fight. Like they can't see if they don't win the fight, right? So for them, it's a lot more important to get the elder than the baron. Because if they get the elder and win the fight, there's a chance they can siege. But if what happens is like they go for the Baron, it won't matter as much because they're not like strong enough to siege right now or like walk up
Yep.
because they don't have the map control. They lost all their turrets and the bottom hub is already open, right? So
Certainly.
what Lanka Lions did before, they could do the same thing again, do the 1-3-1, and either they'd get the inhib or they just win the fight and end the game.
Oh. Well, Karma gets rooted there, but not
Yeah.
punished at all, which is very questionable. Also, interestingly enough, Karma is actually ahead in gold compared to Syndra now.
Because his team's ahead. Because his team's
Yep,
ahead. They have a lot more
definitely.
turrets. Chandra has a
So,
lot of gold sitting in the tier ones that are up at top and mid tier one, right?
yep. So now, if they team fight, oh, Wukong's trying to clear vision here. Hopefully, does not get caught by the Thresh, but this Karma Sivir duo is going to be really difficult for blue side to deal with, unless Mordekaiser, ults the Karma or something. We'll have
True.
to see
So
how they
Karma,
do.
like this is the point where like Sever and Karma are like really strong, right? Unless like they CC them or like get a pick on them, it's going to be really hard to like win a fight unless Wukong gets a really good ult, of course, right? Unless you get a pick or a good Wukong ult.
So red team
Right.
actually opting to do 1 and 4 here, leaving their main tank in the mid lane. They're trying to force blue team to defend this inhibitor. Let's see if San can get this mid tier, mid inhibitor. Wukong flashes in for the engage, Nocturne ults to zone from Vision, and they're gonna pick off Wukong here. Actually, he doesn't get to do anything. San's ulting in from behind as well. He's going to be really disruptive in the back line. For now, Karma just has to survive the Mordekaiser ult, and that she will with her massive supply of shields.
Yeah.
Mordekaiser is gonna fall here, and this should be a double inhib for red side.
Well, it took a
Ooh,
while
Caitlyn
because
actually gets the
Mordecai.
ult. Yep. Can they get the Scion here? Nope. 2 GA still up on red team, so even if they kill either of the carries, they still have to go through the GA. And Thresh might go down here. Yep, Thresh goes down here, but ooh, they don't actually get a kill on Syndra.
Yeah.
This is still a double inhibitor trade, and with their Ocean Drakes ticking, they might be able to rotate over to the Elder Drake and actually get it.
Yep, they
Because the
can just.
jungle timer
I
is so
think,
long.
yeah, I think this might be game now. I don't think like blue team can come back from this unless like red team makes a really big mistake one more time.
Yep.
Yeah,
Because the Sivir is completely scaled up, and she has Karma backing
yeah.
her up.
And Shiva has like good items as well. So she has like a QSS and a PD, right? So Mod can ult her, can never really ult her, right? The Wukong engage was good, but it wasn't good because his team wasn't in position to do any damage. So it was like maybe a communication error where he just went in and his team didn't know, right? And we didn't see
Yep.
any pings come down, so it could be just that. Because if Caitlyn or even the mod were in range when the Wukong engaged, they could have won that fight. Probably. Like there's a good chance they could have won that fight.
Yep. So
But
red
again,
team
going for
actually
the
picks
bottom hip
up.
was really risky. So,
Yep. But I mean, it does pay off. They get double inhib and they
yeah,
get Elder Drake. So they
yeah,
have to. They certainly have to force this Baron right here while their Elder is still on. They have to
true.
force it right now.
I mean, they can just wait. Like it's just like a waiting game now because the supers are pushing at mid and
Oh
bot,
yes,
right? So they
supers are
just
definitely
wait.
pushing.
When they go to wave clear, just start Baron and take it, right? Just wait, let them go because they have to wave clear. They can't like just stay. They
Yep,
send
Sion's
Sam
ensuring
mid.
that mid lane supers push in,
Yeah.
and they're gonna start the Baron off that. Which this Baron should go down really fast. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, it's going to go pretty much uncontested actually, and then they can start rotating top lane.
They can
Yep.
just like send Nocturne mid and go for top. That
Yeah.
would work best.
Oh,
And
the
Caitlyn kind of
the
tilting.
Caitlyn gets caught here. Actually, all of them get caught here. This is very bad positioning from blue team. Wukong ult not gonna do anything. It's going to be 3 for 0, and that's pretty much just gonna be game.
So it's like in the back of their head, if like don't stop this Baron, we can't like do anything. So they're trying to go up to the Baron, but it was already too late. Like they already had the
Yep.
Baron, and they end up paying it for their lives, and it's going to be a game. And Lanka Lions, I guess, ends up winning the series 2-0.
Yep. It's actually surprising because the games were surprisingly closer than I expected. If you look
Yeah.
at just the general kills and the gold value for both games.
Yeah, but I think in competitive, like gold is often like even kills are misleading.
Yep.
Like I've seen people with like down 10K gold win games, so it's like come down to better setups, better execution, team comps, understanding of like what the game really is, right? So it's like a
Definitely.
different game. So yeah, but
Oh,
again, Lanka Lions like kind of like tilted and went off in some weird way and started making mistakes, but they like bounced back and made the right plays and
yeah.
won their games,
So
right?
for damage stats, it's actually interesting because Wukong out damages the Nocturne, who had such a massive lead on him early game, and Caitlyn almost managed to do the same amount of damage as Sivir. So fairly close, I guess. But yeah,
Yeah, okay, guys. This is like I'm Flax and my co-caster Tempest. We're going to be signing out. I guess we'll see you guys probably next week for the next knockout stage. I don't know what the games next week are, but I guess take care, guys. It was
see you,
fun.
everyone. Have a nice day.
Yeah.